The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Welcome to January 4th.
Okay, Trivia Meisters.
It is National Trivia Day.
Well, business has really picked up.
I think it's because of the trivia night Quagmire started.
Here we go. Next question. And remember, no phones, people. Playing an honest game. No phones. Okay, in what country... No phones. I'm seeing phones. In what country... No phones. I've been pretty cool about this so far. It's a gentleman's game.
What's so annoying is once I start looking into one thing, I'll see something else I want to research. For example, in the Home Alone situation, I'll be looking at that and I'll say, oh wow, Joe Pesci's in that movie. I don't know much about Joe Pesci. Maybe I should learn everything about Joe Pesci. And then I'll spend hours doing all this Joe Pesci research, and now I know so much about Joe Pesci. But it's useless information. It's never going to help me. I never heard of a situation where a guy's been in an alley with a dude with a knife just like, you're gonna die tonight. Unless you could tell me the name of the album Joe Pesci put out when he was a little kid. Little Joe sure can sing. Damn it, you're free to go.
So it's National Trivia Day.
I love trivia.
Happy National Trivia Day.
It's showtime.
All right, here we go. It's day 3 of our highly anticipated return to live broadcasting. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Thank you so damn much for your support. National Trivia Day. Someone asked me some trivia questions. Let's see how I do.
How did Ebola get its name?
Ebola?
Ebola. You remember Ebola where your eyes bleed out and all kinds of terrible things happen?
Ebola. I'm going to say it was invented by the French.
Nope. Anybody else?
The Ebolians.
It was not the Ebolians.
Well, not the Ebolians either?
You're talking about from the MCU, the famous Ebolians.
Yes.
Enemies of Thor.
Is it their name?
No.
Oh, okay.
It just sounded like something that could be...
You sounded confident about it, though.
In the MCU. It was named after the Ebola River in Africa.
F me running.
What was the first basketball? What was it really in the 1890s?
The very first basketball, I'm glad you asked, the very first basketball was made from the scrotum of a longhorn sheep.
No, a woolly mammoth.
In Williamsburg, Virginia, in 18... Go ahead, what happened?
The first basketball was actually a soccer ball. They said that was the best option available at the time in the 1890s.
I suppose.
Where the hell are you getting this?
I looked up some trivia.
Honestly, You were prepared with actual trivia.
Well, it's, you try to be prepared.
I think I was pretty close with my answer about the basketball.
That's debatable.
I said longhorn sheep. Longhorn sheep. You said woolly mammoth. They both are big furry animals with friggin' horns,
well,
right?
Well, then I gave you the correct answer, the soccer ball. You missed that part?
Yes, I did. I forgot that part. Go ahead. What do you got?
What country? You're never going to get this one, but I thought it was interesting. The fact.
The French.
No.
Not the French.
What country? And I can give you a hint, and Nick, you'll get it right away.
Okay.
What country has a 99.9% conviction rate?
You don't got it yet?
And I can tell you this.
99.
If there's one thing they have, it's a monopoly on the best music ever created.
The Japanese.
The Japanese. So if you're arrested in Japan, goodbye. You're going to be gone for a while.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
That really is a hell of a deal. Pretty good questions there, Cubby. Right off the get-go. Some mind-bending trivia on National Trivia Day.
I'm going to answer a question from I'll Always Walk with Elias Jesus. No, Joe Pesci is not dead. There was a bit about Joe Pesci in our intro today. He is not dead. He was just a part of that. Aziz Ansari saying when he watches something, sometimes he has a question about a particular thing and then goes down a rabbit hole to learn everything he can about it. Yep. I think that's pretty common, right?
Very common.
My wife and I do that all the time. We'll stop a show, say, gosh, I recognize that actor from somewhere. and go to IMDb or whatever and look them up, and then all of a sudden we're on Wikipedia trying to find out everything about the person.
I know every single thing they've been in. Oh, yeah, I remember in that, too, and that one. Oh, we should watch that, by the way. Is that on streaming?
And then at the end, once our research is done, we're too tired to go back to the movie.
Yep. It's just never-ending cycle.
Did any of you ever get hooked on going to your neighborhood bar on trivia night?
No, the trivia is so hard at bar trivia. I thought it was going to be simple, like, name this capital or something along those lines.
It doesn't seem like it is what it used to be.
No.
I mean, for a while there, like in the early 2000s, it was absolutely everywhere. Any bar you went to, they had those little computers. They put it, and I wonder if it's because of kind of like the Quagmire thing. Quagmire, by the way, he's still alive. In the intro from Family Guy, I wonder if it's because everybody's got a phone now.
Yeah.
And you can just look up every answer.
It's impossible to kind of regulate, too. Mm-hmm.
That's got to be it, Josh. That's got to be it. Didn't you have a great story about a buddy who kind of tapped into a bar's trivia setup and ruined the entire night?
A former coworker of ours. Do you remember Bill Jones?
Yes, I believe I do.
Yeah, really funny dude. And so we used to hang out with. He was a boss around here.
Boy, that's going way back.
Yeah, this is maybe the Edge days. I think it was. Yeah, this was back when we were 93.7 The Edge.
The last time I saw that guy, it was the mid-90s, I believe. Sure, Bill.
Super funny dude. Well, he used to...
He thought he was funny, but go ahead.
I thought he was great.
All right.
He was fun to be around. But he used to work at a bar. He worked at a bar and managed a bar where they had these, the little computers to play. And so he knew there was a universal code to get into them, to repair them or whatever they did.
Sure.
And so what we would do is we'd go to these bars that had trivia, and we'd find the dude sitting by himself that took it way too seriously.
Okay,
There always was one, at least.
So he would put in this code, find the number of the computer the guy had, and sit there, and basically he had access to his machine. And he'd wait till the final second. It's the countdown.
Right.
Oh, here we got 1 second left. And he'd change the guy's answer.
Right.
And there were a couple times where the dudes were freaking out. Absolute furious, going nuts.
I meant to answer New Hampshire.
Yeah, I pressed that one.
I pressed D instead of C. Yeah, sure.
And we're just over there like covering our faces, giggling like morons.
That's a great bit.
And, I wish I could remember that. I knew the code for a while, but I guess I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
That's a great bit. What a great prank. And I think you're probably 100% correct, Josh. I think the idea of sitting down at a bar with a little computer in front of you and playing everyone else in the joint in a game of trivia, it was probably spoiled by cell phones.
Do people use, for the ones that are still going on, do you use your cell phone like to log in, like you do on a Jack-in-the-Box game?
I haven't finger-banged a trivia game at a bar in decades, so I don't know how they do it anymore. If in fact they still do it. Do bars still have that?
I don't really go out.
The last time I played was last year, and it was pen and paper.
Yeah, it's still pen and paper, the ones I've been to.
Okay, well, that's obviously that solves
And they
that.
have a host up there that's, kind of running things and facilitating and grading and making sure, like Quagmire is doing, making sure people aren't on phones.
Okay.
I've also seen they have a lot of themed trivia nights now, too, where it'll be like, hey, come out to this place for Harry Potter trivia, come out to this place for Marvel trivia.
I've never heard of any of these things,
really?
at least not for years.
I would suck at that.
Not for years.
Pretty much any trivia. Wolfpack Softball Jesus has a trivia question for us. Let's see if anybody can answer.
I'd love to give it a shot.
What current NFL long snapper is being sent to by the Brotherhood on vacation to play flag football for the second year in a row?
Our listening audience should be pretty proud of themselves because this has happened again. And I truly believe there's no way it happens without our listening audience. Yes, Andrew DePaula going back to the Pro Bowl. What a great accomplishment by the brother and sisterhood. Good for them and great for Andrew.
And there's not a guy that deserves it more. What an awesome guy, Andrew.
It's a lot of fun. We started getting text messages last night on that subject that Depot's going back to the whatever the hell they do at the Pro Bowl. Nobody knows and nobody cares. But it probably means a few bucks for the guy, this and that.
So.
He gets to go to Vegas. Maybe is it Vegas?
Orlando this year.
Orlando? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's no reward at all.
Yeah, dang.
That town absolutely sucks. But anyway, isn't that a great story, Josh?
It is an awesome story.
There you go.
Thank you to everyone who, like you said, I mean, that was such a big part of it, right? And so many people helped out in that situation. So 2 years in a row. That's awesome.
And Depot had a really cool post last night after it was announced. He said, truly honored all this. And then he ended up saying, being on the best radio show is a great way to gain support, then tag us at 93X Hams.
That's
Are
great.
you serious?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody does that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Depot does.
Randy Shaver never thanked us for getting him that main anchor position.
No, he never did. Oh, is this a friggin' okay? Let me lean into this joke. I'm going to go ahead and be the guinea pig on this one. As far as trivia questions go, Mediocre Machinist Jesus sent me a trivia question via our text message machine. And the question is this. Do I like Wendy's? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say, yes.
I got to be honest.
Mediocre Machinist Jesus. The answer is yes. Okay, it's your turn now. Text me back. Yes, I like Wendy's.
I actually love Wendy's.
You love Wendy's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll see where this goes. I'm looking forward to it.
And in return, I'd like to ask him, do you like dragons?
Okay, Mediocre Machinist Jesus. Did you hear Josh's question? Ask him again.
Do you like dragons?
Do you like dragons? All right. Speaking of text messages, this is good right here. Maybe I haven't gotten enough sleep. I don't know. But right from the get-go, I received a text message from a listener that I got a kick out of. Hopefully I'm not the only one who enjoys it. We're no stranger to song requests from listeners, even though we don't play much for music here on our morning show, maybe 2 songs, maybe 3 if we're feeling lazy. But we still get song requests now and again. Via the text message, I got a song request before we even went on the air from a listener who calls himself Minnesota Moses. Yeah, this grabbed me. He simply texted, "Can you guys play anything from Frank Stallone?" Ah, man. Frank Stallone, brother of Sylvester, of course. I remember the disco hit he had in the early 80s, Far From Over. It was one of those songs that would be perfect in a montage. I think the song came from the Stayin' Alive movie soundtrack, Saturday Night Fever, and then with Travolta, that was 78, and then the sequel was in 83, was called Stayin' Alive. It was perfect for we'll try to get around to playing your Frank Stallone. I mean, the guy did release a few records. He's been on movie soundtracks up and down, Frank Stallone. But the one I think everyone remembers is that, because this fight is far from over.
He was a big part of the family Stallone, Sylvester Stallone's reality series for a little bit there. Paramount
Never
Plus,
saw it, but I know you enjoyed the hell out of it.
Well, I wouldn't have if it wasn't Sylvester Stallone, because it is very reality TV, not like
Pretty
the challenges.
staged.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, it's like, I hate to make this comparison because I love Sly, but it reminded me of what I pictured the Kardashians would be like. It's like a lot of his daughters, a lot of that,
They're hanging around the kitchen talking.
Drama, a lot of drama and stuff.
Like the Ms. and Mrs.
Ms. and Miss, it's different. To me, that's a comedy. That's a sitcom.
Yeah,
it's a reality show about the wrestler, The Miz, and Maurice's wife, Ms. and Mrs. Very funny stuff. The Miz, he's always the punchline. He's always super arrogant, and then things don't work out for him. That's always fun.
All right, let's get back to Mediocre Machinist Jesus. He asked me a trivia question, and the question was, do I like Wendy's? My answer would be, I don't know if that's really a trivia question, but my answer is yes, I like Wendy's. Josh even said he loves Wendy's.
I do. I mean, honestly,
It's phenomenal.
He got back to us via text, and he says, do you like when D's nuts are on your chin? So then Josh got back to him and said, Mediocre Machinist Jesus, do you like dragons? He has responded with yes, he does like dragons.
Oh, you like dragons, do you?
He likes dragons.
You like dragons?
Yes, he says he does.
Good news for you. Max just released a trailer for House of the Dragon Season 2.
Oh!
I really enjoyed the first season. Not as good as Game of Thrones.
You got him with that one.
You should check it out.
That was some great misdirection right there.
All right, what else is going on around here? All right, here's another trivia question on National Trivia Day. What a bunch of pricks we have listening to this show. This is an interesting trivia question. I don't have a cute Jesus or She's name connected to this, but the trivia question is this. And they have the answer, so don't bother shouting out an answer. They've provided us the answer here. The question is, what's the worst cover song ever? The answer, White Lion, Radar Love.
This person has been going after me and Nick because we love that cover. And it's a great cover. I don't know how you can't like that cover.
This is an ongoing battle we have with this listener. They hate the White Lion version of Radar Love. We can't get enough of it.
And this person has very creatively over the years trolled us with this many, many, many times. I can't wait to meet this. If White Lion reunites, maybe we could go to the show and just show him in person what they're like.
I don't know if there's enough. I don't. There's a certain route I want to take here, but then it would send folks in a different direction, and I don't want that to happen. I'll just go this way. I don't know if you and I could emotionally handle a White Lion reunion show.
No, I think you're right.
I think we would be in real trouble emotionally.
I'd be so excited to see their guitarist, Vito Bratta, that eventually he'd point to me in the crowd and say, get that guy out of here.
Yeah.
He's making me uncomfortable.
Dangerous.
This guy is making me uncomfortable and unable to perform. They'd point you out specifically.
As soon as he'd point me out, I'd go, Nick, oh my gosh, Vito Bratta noticed me as two giant burly security guards are kicking me out.
I don't know how we are going to emotionally handle the upcoming Mr. Big show here in town.
Boy, we're just a month away, Bob.
I am going to wear sunglasses. By the way, brand new sunglasses provided by our program director who gifted us all sunglasses for Christmas. I'm going to be wearing my new sunglasses at the Mr. Big show on February 21st because I am going to cry my eyes out.
Yeah, I could see getting emotional. I mean, right, just the first scream we hear from Eric Martin.
Don't even bring it up.
So excited for you guys.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
Ah, shoot, I missed an opportunity. Ninja Turtle Nutcase Jesus.
Does he have a trivia question?
Nah, he's right. I've never heard this joke before, but apparently, going back to Mediocre Machinist Jesus, I asked him if he liked dragons because I'm excited about season 2 of House of the Dragon. He said what I should have said is, oh, you like dragons? I'm going to be dragging D's nuts on your face.
What sense does that make?
I don't know, but I missed.
I don't get it.
I haven't heard that joke before.
No.
And I wish I would have said it.
Stupid.
Speaking of trivia games.
What?
Speaking of trivia games.
Speaking of trivia games.
Trivia Day.
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed that a local wrestling legend is on a new trivia game show?
Oh, I didn't see that, yeah.
Talk to me.
Darren Corbin is on the new game show The Floor with Rob Lowe on Fox.
Oh, that's right. I saw a commercial for that.
Yeah.
Rob Lowe looks really bored.
Yes.
The game
Or
is
maybe it's because Darren Corbin is there.
Oh, jeez.
The game's actually really cool. I'm invested in the game now.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
of course.
You've watched it?
Yeah, we had to watch it. Darren Corbin was on.
Okay, I didn't even know it started
Yeah,
yet.
I didn't either.
I saw a commercial for it, and Rob Lowe couldn't have looked more disinterested.
Does he really need the paycheck that bad?
He didn't even shave for the occasion.
No, he did not.
And I'm kidding in my little shot at Darren Corbin. I've really enjoyed watching him over the years wrestle. He's a great character and a great performer. No, I was unaware of that. I did see about 5 minutes of the Rob Lowe trivia game. What day is it today?
The 4th.
Thursday.
Thursday.
So maybe this was, I don't know, Tuesday night.
Yeah,
He was on that program.
Yeah.
And can we expect to see him again?
Yes, you can.
Why? Because he won, or
No, the game keeps going weekly, unless if you get eliminated from the game, then you don't come back.
do you know how he got this opportunity?
I don't, but we were at a wrestling show this weekend, this summer, me and my girlfriend, and we were talking to Darren Corbin if you're going to be at this show, and he said, no, he wasn't, and we were like, dude, how can't you be at that show? And then he said, I've got something in the works that I can't tell you about. And then all of a sudden we were kind of waiting, and then this came out, and we're like, that's what he was talking about.
Well, if you're a local wrestling fan, you probably know Darren Corbin, and great for him. Mm-hmm. I wonder if that's a fun experience or just a massive pain in the ass.
I was wondering that too, because I want to know.
Sitting and filming a television show, I have no idea how many days they keep you for something like that.
What I wanted to know was how many days he was sitting there recording the show. Was it just like one day?
I bet it was one. It seems like that's how a lot of those shows are, right?
Oh, it's all done in one day?
Maybe 2-3 days tops.
And then you just So you're there for like 24 hours just recording constantly?
Well, I know a thing or two about this, and I'll tell you in a minute what I know about it, just because a friend of mine messed around in the television and music industry for a brief period of time. But, okay, that's fun news for local wrestling fans that Darren Corbin's in the mix. Now, hopefully, and maybe he already, this stuff was recorded months ago, maybe he's sitting on something big. Hopefully he, gets up and becomes a somebody on this program, and it maybe springs him into a further television career or something like that. That would be great. So best of luck to Darren Corbin. What I was just saying a minute ago, I know a little bit about creating television programs from a friend of mine who was in the business for a brief period of time, and he said it can be miserable, just miserably long. The smallest
hurry up and wait, I bet.
A lot of hurry up and wait. Just the smallest little segment of a television show can be a long, painful, awful, thankless, and often payless experience. And that's why he got out quickly. He just could not stand the monotony of it all.
We used to watch Family Feud every night for a while. Like a few years ago, my family, we loved to watch it. And sometimes you'd notice these families that would continually win are wearing the exact same outfit, each time. Yep. For that reason, right? They tape it all in one day. And then
sure. Game shows, I bet, since it's the same recipe over and over and over again, you can just windmill people in and out of there all day and knock out a week's worth of shows. A little bit different if you're doing a sitcom or a drama and things like that. But that's really fun to hear, Wapple. I wish I would have stuck around and watched more of the program. I watched just a few minutes, and then I couldn't understand what was happening with the game.
I was just going to ask you, what is the gist?
It looks like you look at a video screen and there's a missing word or a missing...
So they have 80 people on this floor.
Oh, here we go.
Each person's in like a quadrant of the floor, and they have a category that they chose that they're an expert at.
Oh.
So like there was cars, there was bugs.
Rock music.
Yeah.
What was Corbin's?
Corbin's is cereal.
Cereal?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because he loves cereal, and he thinks that no one can beat him at brands of cereal. So then if you get chosen by the randomizer, then you pick someone that's neighboring you to challenge them on their category. And then, you go back and forth, and they show like different logos of cars, and then you have to be Ford, Maserati.
Right.
And then if you win that, you get their floor space, and yours grows.
Oh, interesting. So you want the whole entire floor then at the end.
And
what's the show called again?
The Floor.
The Floor.
Yeah, and each day they try to get the person with the most floor space. They get $20,000.
All right.
And then the person who wins gets $250,000. The big floor prize is $250,000.
Well, I hope that Corbin I hope he wins the whole schmear. That'll be a hell of a lot of fun. So if you were to go on this program, what would be your... I mean, if you can be as precise as cereal, it's in a lot of game shows or whatever, board games, you have to say American history or something really broad. If you could be as specific as cereal, then what would you guys choose if you were asked, hey, we're going to put you on this stupid Rob Lowe show? What's your feel? What would you say?
Well, I also want to ask Corbin why he didn't go with pro wrestlers.
Maybe he doesn't know that much about it.
Or maybe they don't let you. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's limits.
I thought he would just crush that category.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you work in radio. What do you know about radio? I don't know jack squat.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Just because it's what you do for a living doesn't mean,
That's a good point.
You guys know that when we're done with this at 9 a.m., I don't want to hear another word about radio.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and maybe he thought that there's a lot of people who know a lot about wrestling. You might just run into a guy who, you challenge him, and that person also knows wrestling.
Yeah, because what I was thinking was they would just show you a picture of the person, so it'd be like The Rock, Undertaker, Big Show.
I would say, to no one's surprise, if I can be as specific as Darren Corbin did with cereal, I would say Kiss songs. I think I could...
Yeah, you could do that.
Handle anybody in town when it comes to Kiss songs. We played it on the air once. Play the song. I can tell you which song it is within a note or two. I mean, sometimes even before I hear the first, or who sang it, what album it came from. That would be where I would go with it.
Can I divulge something?
Of course,
if you
Josh.
don't mind. So we did this on the air. Nick took on a listener who was, said they were a Kiss expert, right? And they could do it. And you beat him, let's say 10-1, right? You gave him the one. I know you knew the one he had, and I know you waited just to be a nice guy.
Maybe I don't remember.
You definitely did.
Okay.
I love that, Nick.
I shared a studio with you. You knew it. You even put your hand up I know it, and you just waited and let him take it. You would have had all of them.
Well, if that's the route I'd take. What about you, Josh? The one field of expertise that you could say, okay, I could probably handle anybody in the county.
I think barbecues.
Barbecues.
Do you guys like barbecues?
I
love
I'm going to say that we all love barbecues.
Yeah, absolutely.
You do?
All of us do.
Yeah. You love barbecues?
We love barbecues.
Well, how about I slap my meat across your grill?
You son of a bitch.
I stole that from All Beans, No Peen Jesus.
Mine would probably be identifying minerals and rocks.
Yeah, they're not going to put that on television.
Well, no one would. It'd be hard. I feel like that's such a niche topic. It's like the one thing I've ever cared about enough to actually learn everything about.
Somebody started snoring. Who was that? That was good.
That was the audience. I was representing the audience. Minerals and rocks.
It sounds like fun. It sounds like, maybe especially since we might see a guy that we sort of know on the television show, I'll give it a next time. Someone tell me the next time The Floor is on television.
I believe it's Tuesdays at 8 o'clock on Fox.
On Fox. Oh, so it might be on Hulu.
Central Time.
Might be on Hulu.
I can't get over that he picked cereal. I feel like that's an easy topic for anybody.
I bet they make it complicated.
Easy topic for anybody?
Yeah.
Well, what are you talking about?
And then there's probably cereals that are regionalized, too.
For God's sake, I could name a few of them, but
Yeah, and I was wondering, would they show the box and then just blur out the logo?
They don't like to show box on television.
Yeah, that would make it really easy.
They do on HBO.
Network TV, pal.
If you, back in the day before cell phones and stuff, when we ate cereal, our reading material was the box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
So you'd be like, oh, that's Battle Creek, Michigan. Or, you'd read kind of you read everything you could on the cereal box.
I wouldn't say, Ashley, I think that's far from easy for anybody. Cereal. What do you know about cereal? You know a lot about cereal?
I guess I think if they showed, like Waffle was saying, if they showed a picture of a box, I think I'd have a pretty good chance.
Well, okay, but they probably go further than that. Like, can you name the 3 characters on the Rice Krispie box? Aren't they 3 little peckerheads with the chef's outfits or something like that?
Crackle Pop.
Yeah.
What?
Rice
Pardon me?
Krispies.
Snap, crackle, pop.
Well, I didn't ask you, did I? I asked Ashley.
My bad.
Remember this year he's answering for Ashley. Our first break of the year, he started out answering for Ashley.
Thank you, David.
And by the way, I want to give Ashley credit. We said if she's not in her seat by 5 a.m., it's considered a late day. And we were trying to figure out how many late days she'd have. You have been on time or early since Tuesday.
Thank you.
Which is an accomplishment for yourself.
I've been trying, yes.
That's good. Good for you. Have you? Are you still off the weed?
Yep, still off the weed.
Nice. Good for you, Ash.
Oh, all right, there you go. What a great start to the program, and I mean just great.
Oh, Shotgun Messiah Jesus brings up a good point for you, Nick. You can't watch The Floor. You'll be watching Last Man Standing, which airs at the same time.
Is it 8 o'clock on Channel 45?
Like you don't know. And who stars in Last Man Standing again? I forget.
It's Bruce Hornsby.
That's right,
Yep.
Bruce
Oh, yeah,
Hornsby.
Bruce Hornsby.
From Bruce Hornsby and the Range. We'll take a break, come right back here in a minute on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
Business has always been about turning a profit, making money. But can it stand for something more? something beyond dollars and cents. We think so. We think that today, business has a higher calling, a purpose to be fair and just, to do right by their workers, customers, communities, and the environment. And it turns out companies successful doing that also do better for their bottom line. When you see the Just Capital seal, it means this company is a force for good. Visit justcapital.com to learn more.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, we'll talk about what's going on in the stupid news here in just a minute. But first, I got one rule around here. Josh knows it. Don't be talking trash.
Don't be talking trash.
Oh, I thought it was don't fart in studio.
He does have that rule.
I have two rules around here. Smashley went ahead and started talking trash earlier. We were talking about this new game show that's on television called The Word Up. What's it called again? The Floor. We were talking about this new game show on television called The Floor, starring Rob Lowe. We know a guy who's going to be on the show next time it airs on Tuesday. He's a local wrestler by the name of Darren Corbin. Very cool guy. We've been friendly with Darren for years. And if you don't know the show, and I know I don't, Wapple explained it to us that every contestant has their own special category where they kind of claim, I'm an expert in this field. Ask me anything, and I'll get it correct. And Darren Corbin specifically, his field of expertise is cereal, the stuff that we used to windmill into our yaps as little kids with your Rice Krispies and your Lucky Charms. So that's his field of expertise. Smashley went ahead and started talking trash.
Like I do.
And she said, well, that sounds like an easy topic for anyone, cereal. Doesn't sound easy to me, but that's how Ashley came off. So Josh set aside some cereal trivia for Ashley to see if she can back up this trash talk.
I did, and what you're not considering, Ashley, is they're not going to throw out a ton of softballs. So I made mine what I think it's possible you'll get the answers. Here's a couple questions I left out, and there's a ton like this. What was the first cereal to be made by extrusion, a process in which grains are cooked and shaped under high pressure?
Oh, heck no.
Or I can answer that one.
Go ahead. Know that?
Cornflakes.
Nope.
Cheerios.
Nope.
Dang. I was right.
No, you were not right.
Oh, I wasn't right.
No.
Oh.
Honey Bunches of Oats.
No.
I love their commercials.
Is the correct answer.
Oh, blow my fuse.
Kicks in forever.
Don't close your eyes.
Ooh, I love blow my fuse.
Yeah, go ahead. What are your your cereal trivia questions for Ashley?
What is the most popular cereal in the United States?
Fruity Pebbles?
Cheerios.
Yes.
So far, you would be kicked out of the game.
Thanks for coming to the show, Ashley.
What was the first breakfast cereal to be advertised on television?
Ooh, I think I got it.
Take it easy over there.
This is for Ashley. She was the one talking trash.
First one on television. Oh, geez, I don't know. Frosted Flakes?
Go ahead, Wapple.
Wheaties.
It was Wheaties in 1939. What cereal mascot has been featured in commercials since 1965?
I know that one, too. Don't you? You know it, too, don't you, Wapple?
I think I do.
Ashley doesn't know it. She doesn't know it.
Oh, I
but
don't
it
know his name,
sounds
but is
easy.
it the little bee from Cheerios?
No.
Wrong again.
It's Tony the Tiger.
Oh,
Incorrect.
He's been around that long.
Ashley sucks. Ashley sucks. Ashley
I'm
sucks.
sorry to say nobody got it right. It's the Trix Rabbit of Trix cereal. Has been featured in commercials.
I heard the bell ring, so I think we were right.
It was
on that.
Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
What was the
T.I.
first...
double
Two more. What was the first breakfast cereal to feature a cartoon mascot? Really easy, isn't it, Ashley?
Yeah, wow, that's really hard tricks.
Sugar Bear. Introduced by Post Cereals in 1949 for the Sugar Crisp cereal.
Oh, those were good.
I've never even heard of that cereal.
And what cereal was created in the 1960s by an ad executive who believed children would prefer a sweetened cereal which turned milk into a sweet drink?
Oh, was that Trix?
No, it was not.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Incorrect.
Cocoa Puffs.
False.
Oh, Cookie Crisp.
You nailed it, Wapple.
Nice, Waffle.
No, you didn't. It was Fruit Loops.
I got so excited for you.
Ashley sucks. Ashley sucks.
Actually, you got 0 out of 5 on what you considered
those were difficult.
an easy. Those were the easier ones.
Holy cow.
Listeners are chanting Ashley sucks. It's cold-blooded, but it's the truth.
It's a Good reality check.
Now you know. You owe Corbin an apology.
I do. I'm going to message him on Twitter.
I hope someone's just sitting at a red light. They look over and they see someone else chanting, Ashley sucks.
That's good. All right.
It was fun.
Speaking of trivia, because today is, this is how the conversation got started. Today is National Trivia Day, which is fun. Speaking of trivia, got a text message from Riddle of Steel Jesus, and he said, I signed up for a trivia battle years ago that never ends. It's called marriage. He says the whole game is whether you're right or you're wrong. And let me tell you right now, you're wrong.
My dad did tell me the two most important, before I got married, the two most important words in a happy marriage.
I've never enjoyed this story.
Are, yes, dear.
Oh.
Why does that bother you so much?
That's cute.
Because that's not the correct answer. Fight like hell. Don't give me this yes, dear crap.
That's my, I don't need the win. That's my life. That's my philosophy in life. If somebody wants to argue, especially over something stupid, it's like, all right. You got it.
You don't need the win.
Yeah, you take
I like
the win.
way that comes off.
Yeah.
See, I like to win.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
Same here.
I do.
I'm fine. I'm fine with how I feel. You can feel however you want. I don't need to argue it. I don't have the energy.
I want to argue my point until the bitter end. The bitter end. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm still arguing my point until I'm right.
That's so. That makes me think. Yesterday, I was like 2 weeks ago. I accused my boyfriend of stealing my charger, and yesterday he brought me my charger in his charger and was like, see, this one is not yours. You were wrong. And I was like, bro, that was like 2 weeks ago. Let it go. And he was like, it's the principle.
Why you gotta? You were like Smokey in Friday, where he says, "Why do you got to bring up old stuff?"
Yeah.
You know. Another trivia question. I think this is a setup for a joke, so I'm going to read it. Maybe you guys know the joke. Nunchuck Jesus. Get back to us if this is all a joke. Nunchuck Jesus. He has a trivia question. It's Bible trivia. What are the first 3 chapters in the Bible? Is that a setup for a joke?
Yeah.
Okay.
First 3 chapters of the Bible.
I'm going to say the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. That's my guess to the first 3.
What are the first 3 books? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus.
Okay.
I've heard that, the books, but the chapters, maybe he's setting us up for a joke.
Maybe we'll find out. Maybe it was a legit question, and it sounds like you know your stuff, Josh. And
the books, I couldn't tell you the first 3.
If this is a joke, Nunchuck Jesus, get back to us.
I think, Genesis starts, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
Yes. All right, we got to get on to the stupid news. Oh, one more here real quick. On a side note, nothing to do with Trivia Day or anything like that, or Ashley sucking or anything. Can you guys give a shout out to Noah? We're on our way to the airport with him. He's headed back to Georgia after his military holiday break. He's active in the Army. Yeah, word up, Noah.
Yeah, there's a couple that are doing the exact same thing. Hot EA Jesus doing the same thing today. So, yeah.
On his way back?
Yep.
Fair enough.
Same place, same everything.
That is
Thank
wonderful.
you for your service, by the way.
There you go. All right. Oh, we were just rapping about the Bible. You know how we do on this program. And it brings us to this. Even if you're not a religious type of person, you might want to say a little prayer for a priest way over there in the Czech Republic. Well, he's going through one hell of an ordeal right now. He is. They say here that the poor bastard went ahead and slashed off his own damn tallywhacker. He cut it off. And they say the reason why he upped and cut his own pecker loose is because a tick bite made him friggin' psychotic.
Ooh. I mean, I know that bad things can happen if you're bitten by the wrong tick, but I've never heard of something like that.
Folks who know this poor guy said they first realized something was wrong when the priest fella didn't show up for a meeting. That wasn't like him. So they sent cops and paramedics over to the priest's crib. Nobody answered the door. They had to bust it down, and they found the guy laid out cold in a pool of penile blood. And they saw that he had torn his own hog off with a knife.
Oh, yeah, it says that Lyme disease can cause like a bunch of psychological problems.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I've never heard the psychological problems.
Rageful outburst is one of them. Extreme mood swings, obsessive thoughts. Wow.
I've got obsessive thoughts about all of your mothers. Dude was down on the floor over one way, and his acorn was laying off to the side. He'd cut it off. They brought him to an emergency room. They dumped him into a coma like they do when a person is in real trouble. They hooked him up to a ventilator. Obviously, it's difficult to get much per words out of somebody in a coma, so doctors didn't have a clue why he would do this to himself with the cutting off of the sausage. But they kept looking around best they could. They found that there was damage to the priest's nervous system, like he had caught a virus. The doctors finally came to the conclusion that he had been bitten by a tick, and he came down with something called encephalitis, also known as TBE. Maybe some of you have heard of it. It's a swelling of your brain caused by a tick-transmitted disease. Are you still following this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Word is that if this encephalitis gets a hold of somebody, it can, here we go, maybe this goes in line with what Ashley was saying. It can induce personality changes and even psychosis. So the final diagnosis, I guess, is that this encephalitis made the priest go mental, and it caused him to be convinced that he ought to go ahead and remove his own dong.
Baudette Fishing Guide Jesus said he knows firsthand Lyme's disease is no joke, but he's never had the feeling of cutting off his own dong.
Yeah, there's nothing here in the story as to whether or not the doctors were able to sew the guy's rod back on for him. Hopefully he makes it out of this alive, so you better check yourself. It says here the annual number of tick-borne diseases has more than doubled in the United States over the past 2 decades. Tick populations are rising.
Ugh.
Lyme disease is the most common problem a tick can give you.
Doesn't happen to avid endorsement like myself.
No. I've heard of this many times. My old dog, Ozzy, the dachshund that tried to kill Josh's stepdaughter and then lived to near 20 years old, he had some kind of disease from ticks. I forgot what it was, but it never really bothered him at all. He was too busy being a pimp. But he was diagnosed with some... Oh, you should have seen it when it happened. I brought Ozzy up to somebody's cabin up in Deerwood, up in that general area. And he was a feisty little peckerhead, and as soon as we let him out the pickup, he went running around the woods, and that's fine by me. He can do what he wants. He came back, I mean, his skin, his whole body was moving. That's how many ticks. He got him. I mean, we spent an hour scraping ticks off this poor bastard. But then, a few weeks later, he wasn't looking healthy, and that's how it started. So experts say you should wear long sleeve and pants if you're going to be clowning around in the great outdoors. Smear some tick repellent on you. And then when you have a chance, get naked and have someone check you up and down for ticks. Make it a stranger, they say. Not your significant other.
That was my least favorite thing as a kid when, your parents would have to check you for ticks. And you got to get naked as a little kid. And they're like, all right, lift this up, move that over there.
Check the tape.
Bend over, all that kind of stuff.
I hate checking myself for ticks.
Well, that's why they say get someone to check for you.
And
I'm
what?
so afraid of finding one. It's just so, because I'm not going to pick it off myself. I can't.
Oh, you can't do that?
No.
I've only found one on me, and it was on my inner thigh, and I thought, if there's already one in the suburbs, I bet the city's just crawling.
Yeah.
Luckily, nope, just the one. You know what I didn't appreciate about this story was the photos that accompanied the story. There's one they had, just some stock photos. One where there's a bloody knife. Another one, they had a guy holding his crotch, and he's wearing boxers, and it's bloody.
Where'd they get that?
The imagery was bad enough. I didn't need them to actually put that in there.
Yeah. One of my favorite tick stories is a pal of mine that we used to go fishing up north all the time together when we were young. So we'd check each other now and again for ticks when we were up at the cabin. Don't tell anybody. We did that. But I missed one on him because A couple weeks later, he said he was taking a shower and he was scrubbing his undercarriage, and he said, suddenly it felt like he had 3 balls. Oh. And sure as hell, there was a tick that had connected itself to his bag. And you know how when them sumbitches swell up with blood?
Yeah.
Oh, my damn.
That's so scary.
Yeah. He had to pull that thing loose, and it was a mess. All right, here we go again. We're going to keep her going with the penises here. And, you know, whenever we rap about dong enlargement procedures on this here radio show, I know at least Josh and I have agreed that, hell, if putting an extension on a pecker was an absolutely 100% foolproof procedure with a reasonable price tag on it, why wouldn't a guy sign up for it? Sounds like a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
One day you're just swinging around like the average guy, and the next day you're Scottie Pippen. Why not?
Like you said, it's affordable and it's safe.
If it's 100% safe,
I would line up like it was Black Friday.
Yeah.
I would be in any crowd. I'd be beating up other people to get in the door first.
Just pushing guys out of the way, old guys out of the way.
But the problem is, never mind the price for now, the problem is dong lengthening operations are not foolproof. They do go sideways. And we continue on here in the stupid news with a guy out there in Turkey. He's suing his doctor for messing up his wad. Supposedly. Allegedly. Dude goes by the name of Ilter. Have you heard that one before?
Nope.
No.
Neither have I. He goes by the name of Ilter Turkmen.
That doesn't seem right. He's Turkish? Come on.
Yeah. He says he called up a doctor out that way, a doctor named Haluk. He called Dr. Haluk. And Ilter says to the guy, he says, can you help me with my 4.7-inch penis?
That's a monster. Why would you want to adjust that?
It's going to be uncomfortable.
I want to keep her, he says. Put an extension on that thing for me. And the doctor, Dr. Haluk, he said, yeah, bring it in.
I'll toss a lift kit on that baby.
In the lawsuit here, Dr. Haluk, according to the lawsuit, Dr. Haluk assured him of a minimum increase of 1.1 inches in length and 1.1 inches in girth ski. But the story says that the procedure was a disaster. And when our guy, Ilter, when he limped out of there after the operation, his Turkish pecker was even smaller than before. And now it's all covered in scars and ticks.
Oh, where'd those come from?
And scars. Ilter claims that the operation shaved his wang down, reduced it to 4.3 inches when before he was hauling around 4.7. And he says it's bleeding all the time now, too. It's always bleeding. Now, a different set of doctors performed a second procedure to try and correct things, according to the story. A different set of doctors performed something or another to try and correct it, but Ilter Turkmen claims he's still in a hell of a lot of pain and he's all scarred up and he couldn't walk for a month. Dr. Haluk, did I say Haluk, whatever the hell his name is, Dr. Haluk is calling BS on this. He says, quote, there was no fault in the procedure I performed. He more or less says that this was all part of the normal risk involved in one of these operations. He says that our guy, Ilter, is just looking to make a few bucks. So I guess it depends on who you are, which side of the story you believe.
There is, maybe. The story said the guy's already rich, but...
Ilter with the little pecker is already rich?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's probably how he can afford such a thing.
Oh.
I would not take that risk. Not at all.
Doesn't seem worth it.
One, I can't lose anything. I can't get any smaller. But just the other things surrounding that, the ticks Nick mentioned, the scarring, the bleeding.
The ticks and the scar. I would imagine if you sit down for one of those operations, the doctor's going to say, hey, there's a look. There's a look. That doesn't make any sense. There's a chance that you may never see this sumbitch ever again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, oh, geez, Jesus said his penis is so big it came with a girth certificate?
Yeah. Well, for Pete's sake, what is this now? Chinese cops are investigating an incident where a surgeon allegedly punched a patient while he was operating on them. That's cheap.
I wonder how often that happens. This guy's kind of a prick.
Yeah.
Is he sedated? Yeah. Slap!
I've dumped some cheap shots in my day, but nothing like that.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
I'll tell you what, Todd Bertuzzi is off the hook after this doctor did what he did. This is the ultimate cheap shot. From what I understand, this is on video, and it's gone round and round on Chinese social media. And Chinese folks are pissed. This goes all the way back to 20+19. Somehow now it's become a thing. Don't ask me why. The surgeon has been suspended from performing, how do you call it, operations. The surgeon's been suspended and also given a 2-minute penalty for roughing. So the video appears to show the surgeon punching a patient in the head at least 3 times while operating on their eyes.
It's so messed up.
It's awful.
The eyes. It's always the eyes. You
I'm
ever seen
assuming
a shark's eyes? It's like a doll's eyes. They have lifeless eyes. What movie, Jaws?
I'm assuming you didn't even give anybody a chance to answer. I'm assuming that this was like a big, buff UFC fighter type of guy that he punched, right?
That the doctor was punching in the head?
Yeah, somebody that if the person was wide awake, he could never take this particular really big, tough, young fighter guy.
Well, let's see what it says here, Josh. No, you're wrong. The patient was an 82-year-old woman.
Oh. I hope this guy goes to jail and is never, ever, ever released.
Absolutely. That is insane. Absolutely insane.
Pop! Right in her eyeball.
What'd she do? Like,
Well,
come on,
it
it's just a
sounds
sweet
like-
little old lady.
It sounds like the old lady was one of those where the anesthesia doesn't quite take a hold of her like it does for most of us, so she kept moving around during her operation. So this was the doctor's way of trying to get her to stop jerking around while he's operating.
Just knock her out?
He was trying. The old lady ended up with bruises all up and down her forehead.
Sick.
The old lady's son told the local media that his mother is now blind in her left eye, but it isn't clear that her blindness was caused by the doctor dumping right jabs into her head while she was half asleep. That isn't clear. A few other folks working at the hospital have been fired over this, I believe mainly because they kept this beating a secret for so long.
Honestly, just fire everybody at that point.
How could you keep that a secret?
He's just dumping rights on this old lady while she's laid out on the gurney. Because she wouldn't sit still. This guy sucks.
Yeah. Just call the anesthesia guy back in.
I'm one of those people that I fight anesthesia really hard, and I wonder if that's ever happened to me, and I just don't know.
Have you ever woken up with a broken jaw after having your knee replaced or something?
That would be a telltale sign.
My sister. Take it easy, Cubby. My sister has that problem with the anesthesia. She wakes up in the middle of it.
Oh, wow.
My wife does too. Like, is it like a metabolism thing or
Maybe
what?
it has something to do with being really hot.
Oh, you know what it is? Top heavy.
Oh,
I bet it's being top heavy.
No, then I wouldn't have that problem if that was the case.
That's a scary deal, though. She was having some real deal operation on her insides, and next thing you know, she just woke on up.
That's scary.
I was having an endoscopy done where they put the camera down your throat, and I guess
sounds
I
terrible.
tried to pull it out. Yeah. The doctor said he just started freaking out.
You said, I got one. You set the hook.
I've only had it happen once, the anesthesia. And the doctor put the thing and goes, all right, just start counting down to 10. I'm like, I don't think this is going to work on me. 10, 9, okay, whatever. 8. Just done.
I remember being scared the first time too, thinking, what if I'm awake during this and I don't even know if I got to 9?
Yeah.
I'm perfect for this stuff. I'm made for anesthesia. I'm out cold just when they wheel it into the room.
You
You know?
just see the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can fall asleep pretty much anywhere and immediately. It's staying asleep sometimes that's a problem, but I could easily fall asleep.
All right. That's not good. Doctors punching old ladies.
Boy, earlier this morning, if you're listening, I fell asleep the second Ashley said she could talk about rocks and minerals all day.
Yeah. You were out cold. Ah, boy. Well, some people really need to be acknowledged. a guy living down there in Florida. He intentionally smashed his car into the house of some poor bastard because that person wouldn't talk to him. Did you follow what I said there?
Yep.
Man.
You did?
He really wanted that dude's friendship.
Yeah. A 40-year-old man by the name of Fabian. He was so enraged that someone wouldn't speak to him that he intentionally blasted his car into their house. Now Fabian is looking at charges like criminal mischief and projecting a deadly missile into a home.
Well, now I think he's really not going to talk to him now.
This is so cool. This is so much fun. The miserable local cops down there that had to handle this case, they said that Fabian wanted to speak to this person who lived in this particular home, right? And he goes over to the front door and yeah, can I speak to Donnie? And someone at the door said, well, yeah, he's not here. And then he got in his car and blasted into the damn thing.
0 to 100.
What do you mean he's not here? You sons of bitches. That was all it took. The crash caused, this is how they say it down there, Josh. They say it caused structural damage to the house. This guy, if Fabian comes to your door, answer the sumbitch.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping I could talk to you today.
Yeah.
Not like my jerk neighbor who doesn't want to talk to you at all. I'm trying to think if there was anybody I know that, the closest I can come up with is just a guy I mentioned before, I think it was my 10-year reunion, who just would walk up to people and say, you don't even remember me, do you?
Oh.
You never talked to me in high school. You don't even remember me.
I've been through a couple of those type of deals, yeah.
And it was pretty much his move to everybody, and I don't remember people not talking to him at all. So obviously that stuck with him, that he didn't think people gave him the time of day that he thought he deserved.
Yeah, people are so weird.
Yeah, I've never cared much. If somebody doesn't want to talk to me, cool. I probably don't want to talk that much either.
I believe what we have here is a Canadian story. So, snuggle up to your koala bear, mate. And the story involves snow, something we haven't seen much of this winter, huh?
Not yet.
And like I said yesterday, I effing love that it hasn't snowed for jack squat around here. Sorry, snowmobilers. Sorry, pot-smoking snowboarders with nipple piercings. I love it that there's no snow. No snow rules. No snow rules. Suck it.
I have a friend that I think you'd love to be around because he is miserable about it. Yeah, he's a real avid outdoorsman, and he loved anything in the snow. He'll be on his snowmobile, snowboarding, skiing, whatever it is. Hiking even. He just really loves it. He loves being outdoor all year round, but he loves, the snow and stuff. He'll travel other places with more snow. And he is letting this affect him big time.
Oh, man.
Will you pass on a message to him from me?
Yeah, let me get a pen and paper.
Get a pen and paper. Okay. Write this down.
All right, here we go.
Tell him I said to suck on it. Here's this effing Canadian story. A woman's, as my dad used to say, a woman's. In a town called North Bay, Ontario, she was arrested for impaired driving late on Canadian Christmas Eve after she called the cops for help after getting her car stuck in the snow. When is Canadian Christmas Eve? Do you guys know?
No.
You're saying like right before they celebrate Jesus' birthday?
Yes. It's different than ours.
Is that right? Is it different?
It is, isn't it? Canadian.
No. Canadian
yes,
Christmas Eve.
Canadian Christmas Eve is different than regular. So this gal was gooned, gets her car stuck in the snow, and then she called the cops. And she also didn't quite know where she was when she called the cops. They found her. I don't know. Maybe she should have just run out of there because when the cops showed up, they saw that she was drunk and she was also on dope. This gal's 37 years old, and she has now lost her license for 90 days Canadian.
It's a little bit longer than American days.
Yeah. Probably Terrible idea that you were driving drunk, lady. No doubt about it. But, okay, you got stuck in the snow. Just leave your friggin' car and walk out of there. You know? I don't know. I got time for one more, Josh.
Go ahead. I don't even know how long we're supposed to go. That's kind of a whopple thing.
Yeah, I don't know what time it is.
Yeah, we're good.
I don't even know what time it is.
6:52.
I just like having fun. Okay, what about in Canadian?
What's the Canadian version of that? What's the Canadian version of 6:52?
Yeah, what's Central Time Canadian?
I think it's 6:52.
I don't think so. I'm going to try not to
can't be
lose
right.
my temper with this one. We got one more here. Cops in Virginia. The state, not the shady-ass little town we got up there on the Iron Range. The cops had to go ahead and address some recent supposed Bigfoot sightings. My God, this just simply will not end.
Nope.
In a town called Wintergreen, Virginia, there have been sightings in Wintergreen lately. Folks have been seeing a large, hairy figure running around a local mountain in the woods. Some have been seeing this effing thing on their Ring doorbell camera setup. Yeah, right. You see what I'm saying? The cops had to come forward and tell the locals that this was just some local dork running around in a costume. The chief of police down there.
I think he just wanted to elevate people's happiness during the holiday season.
Sorry, I hit the button about a week ago.
I have now. I've gone into cardiac arrest.
I'm sorry. Did you see that, Waffle?
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on. I apologize.
That was the chief of police up there. He goes by the name of Dennis Russell. He says they got a handful of calls about it. Like you heard him say. I think this is what Dennis said, but I was in shock. I think he said it got out of hand. It was all fun and games. The Bigfoot imposter stopped his bit when he found out people were taking it more seriously than he expected. There was nothing criminal to what this fella was up to. They didn't have to tell the guy to stop. He thinks the dork realized on his own that it was time to go home and knock it off. I mean, we're surrounded by so many maniacs these days. I'm surprised somebody didn't shoot this kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Jesus Christ.
I got him. I got Bigfoot,
Right.
everybody. I got the proof.
Oh, hell yeah. I can see it happening.
All right, 6:52. You were wondering what time that was Canadian.
Yeah.
Or maybe somebody was.
Right.
Learned from lesbians, Jesus said it's a boot 6:52.
Oh.
And Andrew said 6:52, eh? That's what time it is in Canadian.
Gotcha.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Guys look at you a little bit differently just because of this is the 16th year that I've been in this league. And you can tell that guys look at you a little bit differently just because of that. I always say it, if I messed up in high school, I mean, I could be these kids' dads. I'm just being myself and trying to help them win games. I think when you're yourself, that's the best chance you have to impact people. So hopefully I've had something.
I'm too old for this.
Yeah, that was the voice of Joe Flacco, the guy who's going to bring me and other Browns fans a Super Bowl title this year. Joe Flacco creeping up on 39 years old. Is he to be 39 in a couple weeks?
Yeah, this month.
He was joking around in the locker room about how he's old enough to be the father of a lot of his Cleveland Browns teammates. He's going to bring that franchise their very first Super Bowl. That's what he's going to do and win me $600 damn bucks. Old bastard that he is. Hey, let's see. What do we got to cover before we get the hell out of here? Timberwolves got thumped over the head by the damn New Orleans Pelicans last night at Target Center. We'll get into that when Randy Shaver jumps in with us shortly. New Orleans is really, really good, and you've heard me say that before. But when they got their three big players healthy, Ingram, Williamson, McCollum, they are really friggin' good. The Wolves should be able to hang a little better with that club than they did last night. They just seemed tired last night. Final score, 117 points to 106. It's the first time this year the Wolves have lost back-to-back games. The Pigs have a home game tonight, scheduled for tonight, 7 o'clock against the Tampa Bay, what do they call their club again, the Lightning?
I believe so, yeah.
Bally Sports North televises the game. I'm telling you, beer leaguers, you might want to show up to the rink with your gear because they're short on live human beings.
They are.
Right now. Golden Gopher Basketball Club is on the road tonight for their third Big Ten game of the season. They're taking on Michigan, 8 o'clock tonight on something called Peacock. And congratulations, and we'll get into this in much greater detail again, when Randy Shaver shows up in about 30 minutes. Congratulations to our listeners. They've once again, done something very special. Because of your votes and your support, our guy Andrew DePaula is again going to be doing whatever is asked of pro football players, whatever's asked of them to do at the Pro Bowl.
They get to play tug of war this year.
Yeah, they added tug of war.
That's fun.
Depot again going into the Pro Bowl. And I think, Dana, you said he threw a thank you out to everybody on Twitter.
Yep, he did.
So there you go. We'll get into it. I'm sure he's pretty pumped. And again, thanks to everybody who voted for the guy. We got to take a break. Josh's News is coming up next.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
What companies deserve your hard-earned dollar? Which would you want to work for? How can you know if they share your values? Just ask us. Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks who really means business in supporting workers, customers, communities, the environment, and shareholders. We measure progress, track success, and help them be better. When you see the Just Capital seal, you know what's real, because just business is better business. Visit justcapital.com to learn who makes your dollar count.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
A few minutes after midnight, I responded to this location with those 4th Precinct officers. And it's only by the grace of God that we found an 11-year-old child with an injury and not dead.
Turns out, something we talked about just yesterday regarding New Year's Eve celebratory gunfire, injuring people and damaging property across the country, happened right here. Police announced yesterday a man who injured an 11-year-old girl in Minneapolis was drinking and firing off an AR-15 to celebrate New Year's.
Child was injured because of absolutely reckless celebratory behavior. Drinking and shooting an AR-15 rifle to celebrate New Year's.
Nice
endangering
work, dude.
everyone around them and an entire neighborhood.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah, thank goodness the girl survived. What a terrible, terrible thing to happen. The man involved in the shooting shouldn't have had a weapon to begin with. The fella is a felon from Fridley, who will now face assault and weapons charges related to that shooting. The chief said it was a miracle she wasn't more seriously harmed. Unfortunately, it's not the first time children have been put in harm's way by gunfire in North Minneapolis. Just last month, bullets shattered a daycare window while children were inside visiting Santa.
Visiting Santa?
Visiting Santa.
Oh, what a horrible deal.
Multiple state capitals, including Minnesota's, received bomb threats yesterday morning, which led to brief evacuations or lockdowns as police investigated.
Most states which have received these bomb threats have been cleared. They're still working through it here and making sure that there is no actual threat to those who work here. So once again, safety is of utmost importance. I drove down this morning and the sheriff said, hey, the whole building's blocked off, so we couldn't go in.
The warnings came after a series of several false reports of shootings and swatting incidents at the homes of public officials in recent days. Minnesota, Connecticut, Georgia, Kentucky, Michigan, Mississippi, and Montana, all among the states evacuated the State House office buildings. According to a statement from the Minnesota State Patrol, state and local authorities worked together to comb the St. Paul building for suspicious items for over an hour yesterday morning. While law enforcement said nothing concerning was found, an increased presence of Capitol security officers remained in the building until the end of the day. The closures were brief in most states. No evidence of explosives found. Police say hundreds of swatting cases occur annually.
Just wasting their time.
Yeah.
Stupidest thing in the whole world.
A Tallahassee man originally thought killed during a shooting may have actually died from a fireworks accident. In a social media post yesterday, police said they began a homicide investigation January 1st after a man was found suffering injuries in the middle of a street about 2:25 a.m. Despite police best efforts to render aid, he died from his injuries at the scene.
God.
Originally, police said the injuries seemed to be from a shooting. But after the Violent Crimes Unit took over the investigation, it was determined the injuries were possibly caused by a fireworks accident.
Really?
Police said the investigation is still ongoing, pending a full autopsy of the victim.
Somehow blew himself up with the fireworks?
Yeah.
That's not good.
A traveling carnival worker stabbed the man with a box cutter Tuesday morning at Santa's Enchanted Forest holiday theme park in Florida.
Oh, no. A traveling carnival worker?
Yep. 32-year-old Nicholas Moore of Mississippi allegedly approached a man in an aggressive manner as he was waiting in line for food about 12:30 a.m. and forcibly pushed his forearm into the victim's neck. The victim pushed Moore away, and the fight broke out.
Oh, no.
As the two wrestled to the ground, Moore pulled a box cutter and allegedly stabbed the man, leading some bystanders to intervene.
Sir, what the hell's the matter with you?
Moore told police he was waiting for his girlfriend in line for food when the victim approached him. He said he only brought out the box cutter once the victim began to, according to the police report, mount him.
Oh, what?
It's not clear what the two were arguing about. Moore, deemed by police to be the aggressor, was arrested and charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. The popular Santa's Enchanted Forest, held annually in Miami-Dade County, boasts more than 100 holiday-themed rides, games, shows, stabbings, mountings, and other attractions.
Mounting. Oh, I wish there was a video of that.
So there's no real rhyme or reason why this guy cut the other guy up?
It doesn't sound like it.
I was watching one of those crime stories the other day. Some garbage pile just shot a guy, smooth in the head, killed him. And when the cops finally got a hold of this puke and asked him, what the hell, why would you do something like that? The guy said, I don't like the way the guy looked at my girlfriend.
Oh, no.
I hate those types of guys.
What are you a sixth grader or something? What's the matter with you?
A Christmas cookie was the cause of a minor crash in Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania last month. Police say the crash in question happened December 15th about 3:30 p.m. As the driver was entering the freeway, her vehicle drifted to the right and struck a guardrail. She told police the crash happened because she was distracted by eating a Christmas cookie.
They can be very good.
Luckily, no one was injured in the crash, but her car was severely damaged.
Oh, I'd hate myself.
This could be the liquor talking, but Josh, I thought you had a really interesting food that you challenged yourself to eat behind the wheel once years ago. Wasn't it?
It was cereal.
Cereal behind the wheel.
That was dumb.
It didn't go well?
It wasn't easy, no.
I once tried to shovel fried rice into my yap as I was driving down the road. Some leftover Chinese food, spoon in hand.
I saw someone
big bucket of fried rice in my lap.
I saw someone eating soup the other day when they were driving.
That's impressive.
I was like, that is dangerous.
I had a friend who she did that once. She goes, yeah, I once ate soup. I'm like, oh, I'm picturing like a cup of soup, you're drinking it. Like, that's not that big of a deal. She goes, nope, bowl in my lap, spoon in my hand.
Yeah.
A Russian woman reportedly died after she sustained injuries falling off a jet ski. Her husband was driving at high speed.
It was so cool at first, I bet.
Yeah, I'm sure she was enjoying it. She didn't drown. She didn't suffer any massive head trauma. Her genitals ruptured. And sadly, it killed her.
That can happen?
Yes, it can.
No.
49-year-old Alina Spirikova was enjoying a day on the river with her 52-year-old husband, Oleg. When she fell into the water as he accelerated away. The report said, quote, after another turn, the woman could not stay on the jet ski and fell into the water, and at that moment, her husband hit the gas. The impact of the fall created a, quote, water hammer effect, which occurs when fluid in motion stops or is forced to change direction suddenly, causing her to suffer a genital rupture. According to the National Institutes of Health, a uterine rupture can cause acute onset abdominal pain and bleeding, and in this case, death. She was rushed to a local hospital in the aftermath, but eventually, sadly, succumbed to her injuries.
There was nothing left.
Oleg is now facing a criminal charge for causing death by negligence.
Really?
And the woman's family said a criminal case against him has begun.
Oh, they must not have liked Oleg very much.
Yeah, he must be a little sus.
Yeah, they weren't happy with how that turned out.
No likey the Oleggy.
Speaking of vaginas, Pornhub has blocked access to its website from North Carolina in response to a new state law which requires adult websites to verify the age of its visitors. Similar legislation also made in Montana. House Bill 8, a new law that went into effect January 1st, requires all adult film websites to obtain age verification from users to prevent those under the age of 18 from accessing those sites.
I've spoke at high schools to entire populations of entire high school of all of their boys. Last time I did that, I asked anybody to raise their hand that had not watched porn in the last week, and only one young man did.
All right, let's do that here. Who has not watched porn in the last week?
Raise your hand. Nobody.
Ashley.
Yeah?
Me and Ashley have our hands. I'm surprised. I thought you were really into that kind of thing.
Not since I got the new boyfriend.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, Ashley not smoking weed, not watching porn? I don't know who you are anymore.
I'm a changed woman.
What happened to you? You used to be cool.
I got to say, Josh, that I didn't raise my hand. I have watched porn in the last week, but I have to admit that it was show-related. The only porn that I've watched in the last week was the story yesterday about that dude from the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse who was making movies where he was bumping uglies with the old lady.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was work-related. So maybe I've also turned some kind of a corner.
Oh, well, I guess I saw screenshots of that, so...
Oh, yeah.
I didn't consider that. I didn't watch it for, like, what you normally would watch it for.
Yeah, you sick puppy. You've been watching naked movies, too.
Filthy boy.
Do I have a problem?
Yes.
You do.
This is an intervention.
Yeah, this isn't a radio
Is this affecting
show.
my marriage?
All right, let's bring his wife in. We got some people we want to talk to.
A message on, I'm so into it, I forgot that I saw the still photos.
Yeah, doesn't even remember.
A message on Pornhub's homepage explains the law would essentially require users to upload their ID cards each time they want to access the site. But they argued that this is an ineffective way to police the site and could actually create privacy issues. Therefore, they shut down access to the site altogether for all North Carolinians and Montanans. As part of their statement, Pornhub suggests the best and most effective solution for protecting kids and adults alike is to identify users by their devices and allow access to age-restricted materials and websites based on that identification.
All right.
Can you imagine anytime you want to masturbate, you got to upload your driver's license?
Yeah, that would kind of take the joy away from it, I think.
A little bit.
A man was arrested after Nevada authorities said he stole an airplane from the North Las Vegas airport and flew it to Barstow, California.
Well, I don't have the skill set for that.
Me neither. Police said the incident happened December 30th and involved a 2020 Kit Fox fixed-wing single-engine type aircraft. They believe 40-year-old Damian Zukaitis flew the plane to an area near the Barstow Daggett Airport, where he landed on a roadway. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office then made contact with the victim, not knowing the plane was stolen at that point. But when they arrived to help, the man fled on foot into the desert. Authorities said days before the incident, there were reports that airplanes had been attempted to be broken into in that airport. They believe Zukaitis was behind the attempts. Investigators said the motive is still unclear, but the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation Security Administration are investigating.
He's played way too much Grand Theft Auto.
You can steal planes in that?
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Oh,
I'll
I
just
didn't know
spend
that.
hours trying to get into the airport and steal planes.
I did not know that.
I didn't know about the airplanes either, Cubby.
I'm too
You
busy
and I
on
are too
Pornhub.
busy. Yeah, we're looking.
Or not Pornhub, but just some sort of porn.
We're watching naked people on the internet.
In other aviation news, a Florida teen traveling alone on Frontier Airlines from Tampa to Cleveland mistakenly boarded a different flight and wound up in Puerto Rico.
So my first reaction is panic. And he's panicking, he's scared, he doesn't know where he's at, he doesn't know what he's gonna do, and I can't be there to keep him safe, which is just killing for a father.
Oh, how miserable that might be to be going to Ohio and then wind up in Puerto Rico.
Darn.
Frontier said in a statement they extended their sincere apologies to the family for that error.
How's that even possible?
I guess the lines were right next to each other, and somehow he got in the wrong one, and
I got on
nobody
the
knows.
wrong. Yeah, I got on the wrong airplane when I was in Costa Rica. I got on the wrong airplane to go home, and if somebody hadn't said something to me, I'd be Canadian right now.
Was this pre-September 11th?
No, it was.
That's the part that's kind of, makes it a little more shocking, I guess, that
Yeah.
could happen nowadays.
Because they triple check your boarding passes.
Not at this joint. You got to go to this airport in Costa Rica. It's like a circus tent.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
With a couple of walkie-talkies, real cheap speakers that announce what flight, is boarding where.
So you were out of the country.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was.
if it happened in the U.S., it seems that's more shocking.
I couldn't quite make out what the guy was saying over the loudspeaker as to which way to go. And I was wildly hungover and very tired, and I walked onto an airplane, and I don't know why, but I just asked to be sure, where are we going? And some dude said, Toronto. And I said, well, I got to get the hell out of here. I'm on the wrong airplane.
One of us is on the wrong plane.
Yeah, thankfully you asked.
A Connecticut woman who had her car stolen is facing charges. That's because she claimed her kid was in the vehicle to get a faster police response. What's the end game there, right? I understand she wants her car back, wants them really to put in an effort, but what do you say when they say, well, we can't find the kid? What kid? Oh, yeah, the kid.
Oh, the kid.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand how she doesn't think she's going to get busted.
And then they wanted to start, well, we need to go look for this kid. And, oh, no, he'll turn up. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Investigation revealed the vehicle was stolen. However, the complainant fabricated the story of her child being in the vehicle to facilitate a faster police response. No child was ever in danger, said police.
That's not right.
29-year-old moron Pamela Rodriguez was charged with false statements and reporting a false incident. The police say they will continue to search for her stolen car. A Colorado crook carrying thousands of dollars of stolen merchandise walked right into the police's hands after he was caught trying to use an Uber as a getaway car. The bungling burglar was ransacking a plumbing store in the Denver suburbs last week when he called the rideshare driver to pick him up. The store owner had called 911 after he noticed a hole cut in the business's fencing and caught surveillance footage of the thief inside. When police arrived, they discovered the Uber driver waiting nearby. He told cops his passenger, Jose, was headed right toward the car. Are you looking for an Uber? An officer can be heard asking to the suspect in the body cam footage. The man, wearing the hood of his black sweatshirt up and a pulled-down balaclava, shoots his gaze sideways and hides his hands inside his pockets. No, he stammers. He then gives the officers a fake name, Raul, and he takes several steps backward and away from the cops. When told he matches the description of the thief, he maintained he's not the man they're looking for. However, the contents of his backpack expose the thin shroud. The backpack is full of tools. One officer could be heard saying while rifling through the loot, inside cops found more than $8,600 worth of stolen tools. On social media, police said it may not be the best idea to have an Uber pick you up at the crime scene. And he wasn't the only person who used an unusual getaway car as of late. In Texas, a man's in jail after he and another man attempted to rob an ATM on New Year's Day using a stolen church van.
That's not right, man.
An Eden Prairie woman was arrested on allegations she stole more than $1 million from an Edina business furnishings company where she worked. And spent some of that money on high-end clothing and at a resort and hotels in Vegas and Miami. The theft spanned more than 7 years and weren't detected until November, shortly before she was fired. The company detected more than 300 charges on the card, exceeding $1 million and stretching from May 2016 until October of last year. Under police questioning, the 51-year-old said she has a problem with overspending, and this was a way for her to hide it from her husband.
She was living like a real big shot there for a while,
I guess, like all kinds of real high-end stuff she was spending their money on.
What the hell is the matter with you?
3 men in Canada were arrested on Christmas Eve after police caught them with more than $1,000 in stolen butter.
Butter's expensive now.
In a news release, police joked the group may have had their holiday baking plans interrupted. Shortly before 4 p.m., officers were called to a grocery store where 2 men were spotted putting a case of butter in a cart and walking out without paying. In total, 144 sticks of butter and 17 containers of other butter products were recovered. The men, ages 49, 29, and 25, were arrested and charged with theft. One of them faces an additional charge for trying to give police a false name.
Butter thieves.
Yeah, what were they going to do with all that butter?
Bake?
Right? Maybe sell it? I don't know.
Remember the old story, Josh, from our early radio days? We challenged a dude one day on the air to, if I remember correctly, it's a long time ago, he had to, as fast as he could, he had to eat, I think it was 2 pounds of bacon and 5 or 6 sticks of butter.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys remember those commercials that they used to play late at night, and it was like a girl sitting on her couch just eating chunks of butter?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, those disgusted me.
No, I don't recall those commercials, but I'll tell you this much. This poor bastard who ate 2 pounds of bacon and 5 sticks of butter as fast as he could, he turned absolutely lime green. His face.
That can't be good for your arteries, I think.
It was something to see. You had to be there.
How much did he get down? Do you remember?
Yeah, 2 pounds.
Oh, he did it all?
Yeah, yeah, he ate it all.
Oofda.
I think I would barf.
He didn't feel very good. He did not.
Yeah, he gutted it. Good for him.
But it was a lot of fun.
If you missed a portion of the show, you can always listen to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show on demand. You can find our podcast where you ever get podcasts. Nick asked me off the air where you get the podcast. He thought maybe TJ Maxx, Best Buy, or Cracker Barrel.
That's a good guess.
They got some good gift shop there at the Cracker Barrel.
Whatever your favorite app or streaming service is, you can find the Hams podcast. Birthdays today. News Radio and Kids in the Hall star Dave Foley, 61.
I remember Dave Foley.
I had a buddy in high school who was obsessed with Kids in the Hall.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, me neither.
I tried it a few
too smart
times.
for me.
I didn't get it.
I thought I was too dumb to get a lot of those
There's no
jokes.
friggin' way you're too dumb for anything.
I didn't know. That's not true. I didn't understand.
You stupid bastard.
Just another garbage man, Jesus. Text in a shout out. His dad is undergoing heart surgery today. Looking for some positive vibes this morning. Yes, of course. Best of luck. Speedy recovery to Dad. Happy 50th to Ty. Happy birthday to Army truck driving Jesus from Dreaming of My New Side Load Jesus. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
Never had a grown man send me so many pictures with his shirt off.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Does it feel like you guys are in a bit of a funk right now, or come on, man? It looks like it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. We suck right now. Yeah. We was within the team. I mean, nothing I'm going to say here, but we talk. I mean, we looking at the same game. I think all y'all see it, but we're going to figure it out. We suck right now.
Anthony Edwards of the Timberwolves says that they suck, at least right now. We'll get to the Timberwolves here in a few minutes. First, hello, Randy Shaver.
Hello.
Hello.
What's going on, dude?
Not too much.
I hear you. We got to start off, though, by congratulating our listening audience, the best in the business.
Yes, they did their job.
They did it again.
They always do.
They always do. They did it again.
And the man is deserving.
He is.
Absolutely.
We were saying that earlier.
They got Depot into the Pro Bowl again.
Yes. I wonder, does he have any sort of like a stipend in his contract or some sort of clause that says when you make the Pro Bowl, you get X amount of money? Because I'm guessing there might be, and that's extra bagels for all of them.
Yeah. Randy Shaver, my thought would be that every damn player in the league probably has that written in. Summers.
Yeah,
I believe they do.
You're probably right.
Why would you not? If you got an agent that's worth a squirt, you'd think your agent would say, hey, if my guy gets into the Pro Bowl, he's going to get a pile more money.
All I'm saying is extra bagels for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, the sumbitch Depot, he better be buying us bagels.
Mrs. Depot said she's going to send us some at some point.
Yeah.
His mother.
Oh, I forgot. We talked to his mother last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. So you've done it again, Half-Assed Morning Show listeners. Nice work. Andrew DePaula and some other guys, who cares, have been selected.
Well, only one other guy for the Vikings, but yes.
Been selected to perform in whatever happens at the Pro Bowl these days. And we were told earlier, Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they've lined him up for something awful, now that I think about it.
Well, that'll be good if his family gets to go with, because he's got some of those kids.
Disney World?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot they have some kind of a Disney setup down there.
It's the only nice part of Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
This has been such a blast. It really has. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. It's been such a blast to get to know Andrew DePaula and to have this thing cooking with our listeners and, helping him find his way to the Pro Bowl and maybe, like Randy was saying, a few more bucks in his pocket. This has just worked out beautifully. I couldn't be more proud.
He's got to take every 93X listener out to dinner. He owes them all a nice dinner.
It's his second Pro Bowl nod, of course, last year being the other. He's the first long snapper in franchise history to be selected to the Pro Bowl. Wait a minute. Am I saying that right? Last year when he went to the... I was saying it incorrectly. Last year when he went to the Pro Bowl was the first time a Vikings long snapper had that honor. And he's the first long snapper to earn back-to-back Pro Bowl honors in the history of the friggin' NFL.
Dang. Oh, I thought they said...
I'm sorry, second.
Yeah, second. Yeah.
Since a guy did it a few years ago, some dude named Jake McQuaid did that for the Rams back a few years ago. So he's only the second. What a hell of a deal. Dana, do you still have that Depot tweet in front of you? Didn't he say something or another directed at our listeners?
Let me pull it up here. I'm sorry, I'm in the other room right now.
Why are you in the other room? Were you being punished?
Yeah, I got thrown in the sin bin. No, I have a little,
everything's garbage
have a little
around here.
computer issues right now, as you can imagine.
I've got the tweet right here.
You got it? Thank you,
it
Ashley.
says, "Thank you to everyone who helped me get to this position. I am truly honored. Back to back, we have without a doubt the best fans in the NFL. Being on the best radio show is also a great way to gain support at 93X Hams. Thank you all again."
I'm glad he tagged us in there because I didn't know if he was talking about us or not.
You never know.
Or he could be trolling us.
That's awesome. And what day is it today? Thursday? We'll be talking to him tomorrow. We can talk to him tomorrow about all this.
I have to say, I think this is maybe the best stretch of professional athletes on this station since I've been here.
Yeah.
With him and Foligno. I think they're both are fabulous. They're interesting. The conversations are fun. They're engaging with the audience, and they're how do I put it? They're accepting of the
the shenanigans.
Yeah,
they don't just throw out cliches.
Yeah,
Randy Shaver, this is.
I really think these two guys. It's kind of like certainly Zach is fabulous, and
we miss Zach.
Yeah, he really was really good. And Cluey, those guys.
Dick Bramer, we could throw Dick in.
Bramer, sure, but right now you've got a couple of guys who are really, really good.
Randy Shaver, that's the exact conversation we had yesterday after you and Foligno were done at 8 a.m. yesterday morning. Well, 8:30? 8:30 yesterday morning, we had that exact conversation. We couldn't agree more. We've been very lucky.
Yep.
All right, further on with the Vikings, they're going to start Mullins in the season finale versus the Lions on Sunday.
I was pulling for Tarkenton.
Were you?
I really...
Here's a headline I read Summers, and I can't remember where, but it cracked me up. It had one of these setups where it says, what quarterback should start the final game of the season for the Vikings? And you had to check a box, and here were your choices. Mullins, check that box if you want Mullins to start. Hall, Dobbs, and the last... what's the word I'm looking for? The last choice was, who cares?
I think we should just throw Dobbs in. That'd be fun.
I think we should rotate on each play. They just keep rotating in and out, one after the other.
It might be smart. Keep them confused.
Yeah, keep the defense on their toes.
Now, if you want to have some real fun, we could have some real fun this morning because I just read something. By God, I did, on the internet. And it was an article suggesting that the Vikings might want to revisit that idea of hiring Jim Harbaugh. It's not working out with this O'Connor guy, they say. It's time to revisit the idea of calling Jim Harbaugh. No. That was their first choice, right? A year or so ago, right? That was the story we read that was their first choice.
Conversation.
Yeah, I remember he was in the building at one point.
Mm-hmm. But then they went with this O'Connor guy. It's time to revisit.
I don't know. Did they choose O'Connell over him, or did Harbaugh turn it down and then they turned to O'Connell?
That's what I believe. The second scenario is what I believed.
I think that's more what happened.
Harbaugh said no, so they called O'Connor. I love it. I love this kind of stuff, arguing back and forth, pissing and moaning. I found that pretty interesting. I despise that Harbaugh dude.
I know.
But God, it would be a lot of laughs if he was the head coach around here.
Well, who knows the kind of success they might have, too. You don't know.
No, of course you don't.
Yeah.
You just don't.
No. Too tough to know.
Certainly don't. No.
Anything's possible.
Totally possible.
Green Bay Packers quarterback Jordan Love was named.
By the way, Vikings 2, Packers nothing.
What does that mean?
Pro Bowl. Vikings 2, Packers
We're
nothing.
Keeping score as to...
Yes.
Let me send a text to my Wisconsin friends right now.
0 Pro Bowlers from the Packers.
I'm not going to jump in on that.
Vikings 2, Packers nothing.
Keep us updated on that, Randy.
I will.
Jordan Love is the NFC Offensive Player of the Week after eviscerating the Vikings defense on New Year's Eve. Isn't it nice to talk about we're going to revisit this real quick if you don't mind. Isn't it nice to talk about the Green Bay Packers without having to hold down vomit?
It's very nice.
It feels a lot different.
I couldn't do that when the gas bag was there. But we can just have a conversation about them without me being sick to my stomach.
Sure.
Kevin Love. What the hell's his name again?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
Kevin Love played great last night, by the way. I was watching some of that game.
I saw him play on television.
God, the guy is just what a machine for his age. He just keeps working hard.
He was playing for the Miami Heat against the Lakers, right?
Yeah.
Jordan Love completed 24 out of 33 passes for 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions.
He's currently third in the NFL in touchdown passes, by the way, with 30.
He also ran in a touchdown in that hilarious New Year's Eve ball game.
I hate to say this, but, well, I shouldn't say hate to say this, but I'll say this. They're on track. To figure some things out in Green Bay because he's a good quarterback, and he's only going to get better. And when they put some other pieces around him, and they keep building over there, look out, because I think he's going to be really good before it's all said and done.
Knock yourself out. Don't care. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm just saying.
Now that the gas bag is
compared to the Viking situation at that position, Green Bay's definitely got a head start.
It just feels so good to just say, go ahead.
Whatever.
Be the greatest team in the world. I don't care. Now that the gas bag is gone, if you would have been saying what you just said about the gas bag, Josh and I would be lining garbage cans up for vomiting. Speaking of that Pro Bowl, Brock Purdy and Tua Tagovailoa are going to be the starting quarterbacks. Well, wait a minute. They don't even play football.
No, they don't. They just play games. It's card night.
Yeah. I forgot. I was reading that out loud. I was reading it out loud.
Flag football, right?
Yeah, they do a flag football.
They just do a bunch of different things that just have fun.
I forgot.
I remember actually enjoying some of it last year.
Yeah, I mean, we complained about the Pro Bowl for years, that it was just a stupid game because guys weren't trying and it was just dumb.
Right.
And now they're doing the things that everybody felt like they should be doing. Just have some fun, sign some autographs,
Right, I completely forgot about that as I was reading the story. That's silly of me.
I think Tug of War could be kind of fun to watch.
Only on the Battle of the Network Stars is the only time.
I was just going to say that, Nick. I was just going to say that.
Wapple, come on. You're going to watch a bunch of friggin' jerks play tug of war? It's only
fun.
See, here's the thing. They're athletes. Where's the fun in that? On the Battle of the Network Stars, there were cigarette-smoking alcoholic actors involved in it. It was comedians. It was Richard Dawson. It was John Schneider from the Dukes. That was the only tug of war worth watching. The Battle of the damn Network Stars.
I want the mud pit, the giant mud pit in the middle.
You're a giant mud pit.
The losing team just gets sucked right in there.
I'll tell you, it's fun when you watch your kids, like when they have like track and field day or something like that at school, and then they're doing a tug of war, and one of the teachers get involved, and the entire other side just falls right over.
Yeah. What if they did the tug of war like the one from Squid Games? You don't win, it's just death.
Yeah, I don't think we need NFL players to die at the Pro Bowl.
If you're not old enough to remember the Battle of the Network Stars, look it up. In the 70s and into the early 80s, they take television actors and comics and musicians and put them through a series of Olympic-style events. I don't know how I define it. Yeah. Just athletic challenges. Jumping over hurdles and tugs of war. And it was Farrah Fawcett and the Mandrell sisters against, Soupy Sales and Dom DeLuise. And
I love Dom DeLuise.
Burt
Reynolds and Jerry Reed. That was fun. Because, that those folks hadn't slept for days. They've been just doing cocaine and having sex with each other leading up to the taping. All right, here's another former Viking, Dalvin Cook. He's been released by the New York Jets, and I was reading something about how there are some other teams that want to take a chance with Dalvin Cook before the playoffs start. They mentioned the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Argonauts, the Dolphins, the Chiefs, and my Cleveland Browns. You guys, Randy Shaver, you think Dalvin Cook will go on? And
I just don't think he's. I mean,
do you care?
I don't.
Okay, fair enough.
He's just a healthy. Well, I don't even know if he's healthy, but he's just another body for somebody at that position. The running back position has been devalued so much in the last couple of years that it really doesn't matter.
They just chew you up and spit you out unceremoniously.
Yeah, they do.
What's the count right now for Vikings Pro Bowlers versus Packer Pro Bowlers?
2-0.
A Packer fan texted in and wants to know, Randy, when you're going to hang the banner for that one. Now, I didn't see this Lions-Cowboys game. When was this? Over the weekend?
Was last weekend.
Last weekend. I see articles.
Saturday night.
It was some kind of snafu. The officials screwed it up is the general idea.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't see it. I haven't watched any video on it, but it's still being talked about.
Yes.
Lions fans are not forgetting.
No.
Matter of fact, Lions fans are pulling their wallets out, using their own damn money to put billboards all over the city of Detroit expressing their displeasure with the officiating in that game.
That's pretty funny. I mean, it's kind of a waste of money and time. But yes.
Yeah, what's that going to do?
I mean, I think more than that, you've lit a fire under a football team that didn't need that. Especially, I mean, for the Vikings to go into Detroit knowing that their only chance to make the playoffs, their slim to none chance, is to actually win the game to start with. And you've given Detroit fodder to play hard, and they still have a chance to be a number 2 seed if some things fall into place too. But, yeah, they're going to be a little fired up, I think, in Detroit.
All right, I forgot now. I was talking trash about the Battle of the Network Stars being the only worthwhile tug-of-war matchup you'd ever want to watch. I forgot. I appreciate the text, HVAC Jesus. Lambda, Lambda, Lambda versus the Alpha Betas. If you're old enough to remember Revenge of the Nerds, when the Lambdas took on the Alpha Betas in the tug-of-war, that was pretty good, but not as good as the arm wrestling competition. So the crew of referees, I think I mentioned this a few days ago, the crew of referees who supposedly Pearl Harbored that Lions game, they have been told they won't be working playoff games. But I read that
they are working a primetime game this week.
That's right, Randy. Which game is it? Steelers, Ravens?
Yes, I think
I'm not sure.
Okay,
I just know
that's what I have in front of me.
Back in a primetime game.
They have been assigned to Saturday's Steelers-Ravens game on ESPN, so they'll be back on national television. We'll see what gives way this time around.
There'll be some scrutiny with that.
Some bad refereeing is what everyone is saying. Like what we've seen over the years from Earl Hebner and Mike Chioda. Mike Chioda.
Yeah. Mike Chioda.
All right, there you go. The Bears and the Packers play this weekend, and I don't know why this is being turned into a thing, but I guess, websites just need stuff to talk about. The quarterback for the Bears, Justin Fields, ahead of this game Sunday, has called Green Bay boring.
Their home field. I know their fans going to be loud because there's not much to do in Green Bay except watch football, but
He's not wrong.
Yeah,
Lambeau is so much fun, actually.
That's been overdone so many times.
That card has been played hundreds of thousands of times.
There's nothing else going on,
But whatever, okay, so it might get somebody fired up. Who cares?
I will say that for Bears fans, what a crazy time here to figure out what they're going to. I've been reading a bunch of articles about what the Bears are going to do when this season ends. Holding the number 1 pick in the NFL draft with the quarterback from USC as the likely, supposedly the number 1 pick, and Fields playing so well in the last 5, 6, 7 games for Chicago. I mean,
they've looked all right.
He's really played. He's been like a top 5 quarterback in the last few weeks.
They've looked pretty good.
They've got some. I mean, what do you do? I mean, do you dump the kid and you draft the? I mean, they've got some. It's going to be really interesting to figure out, to see what they end up doing, because that's a tough decision for them.
Is this true? This is great. TV installing Jesus just texted and said, depending on how things play out this weekend, the Vikings could end up in the last place spot in the NFC North.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, very much so. Yes.
They lose and the Bears win.
That's when you call Jim Harbaugh. You call Jim Harbaugh. We talked earlier about Joe Flacco, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to play this weekend. He's going to sit out.
Yep.
So is stupid Patrick Mahomes. Wouldn't it be great to see the Chiefs get beat right away in the playoffs so we can get a break from those folks?
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I saw something very funny concerning Joe Flacco here. It was a meme, I think is the word. A picture from the internet. I think they call it a meme. I don't know. And it discusses the argument over who's going to win Comeback Player of the Year this year in the NFL. And they have two choices for you. Comeback Player of the Year. They say, who do you choose? Damar Hamlin after coming back from dying, or Joe Flacco after coming back from playing for the New York Jets, which is arguably worse than dying?
That is a tough choice.
Yeah, it is.
I will say that what Flacco's probably more at the top of mind just because of the position he plays and the impact that he has. Being a quarterback and Cleveland, making it to the playoffs based on him picking this team up and carrying him, on his back. So he's probably a little bit more in the public eye than Hamlin has been. So.
One guy came back from dying. The other guy came back from playing for the New York Jets. Oh, my God. What's his nuts? That top wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
His
house, down the house.
His house burned down. His house burned down on him. That's terrible. I saw a video of his house. It's gone.
Do they know how it happened?
It was because he's dating Left Eye from what's the name of that act again? TLC. No, I don't know.
I kind of wondered, scorned woman or what happened? With all that controversy.
Oh, what controversy?
The Tyreek Hill, all the women pregnant at the same time. We talked about that.
I forgot about that. Oh, dude, Josh, that puts a whole new spin on this.
Oh, maybe some of them teamed up. There's nothing more scary than a woman that wants revenge.
I had forgotten all about that.
I don't know. You've never seen my wife hangry. That's pretty scary.
Well, that's why she has purse tuna, right?
She does carry around purse tuna, just in case, for emergency situations.
Cubby, I didn't even consider the...
I'm sure it's not that, but...
Well, but it's interesting.
That did pop into my head.
I had forgotten that he's got all kinds of babies on the way. So I understand he was at practice. He was with his wife was with him maybe after practice ends. There's video of him pulling up on the house. He's in his car.
Gosh,
he drives up the driveway. It's on fire. No one was hurt. Everyone's okay.
Yeah.
Jesus criminy. House burning down. Oh, God, I thought I had some other route to take with that, but if I had it, I lost it. You want to talk about the XFL and USFL merger? Randy?
No,
Randy?
I don't, actually.
Oh.
Wait, did we ever get around to the XFL championship game from last year?
No, it never happened.
Brutal.
We did keep saying we were going to talk about it.
It never happened.
Right. The Battlehawks got beat again.
Oh, it probably happened. I forgot all about it. They got a new name for the league. You see, the XFL and the USFL have merged.
What's it called?
They're the UFL, the United Football League.
Okay.
What? You don't like that?
Oh, man.
I'm going to save that for later then.
Yeah, you save that.
Did you guys see the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl when it was happening a handful of days ago? The Cheez-It Citrus.
Who was in that game?
It was, don't tell me, it was this ball club and the other.
Okay.
I have no idea who played in the Cheez-It. Okay. It was Tennessee and the Iowegians, maybe?
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
Yeah, they just swamped them.
They had a hot tub on the field at the Cheez-It.
Denny Green in the hot tub.
What do you mean Denny Green in the hot tub?
Oh, that used to be the deal. Denny Green and Solly.
Oh, yeah, they were always in a hot tub together.
In the hot tub.
They were getting ready to go to, what was the name of the joint they'd always go to down in Florida?
I can't think of it.
Josh.
The Mons Venus.
Mons Venus.
Denny Green in the hot tub.
Oh, yeah. Me and Solly gonna go to Mons Venus.
Okay. There was a hot tub on the field at the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, and now it's up for auction on eBay.
Oh, God.
Showed you Cheez-It giving haircuts in the flexing section. How about there is a spot? Fans have literally the hottest seats in the house. The Cheez-It on-field hot tub. Plus, you got the nail treatments. You got the massage. Looking and feeling the cheesiest, those folks.
No.
Hot tub on the field. Now you can.
I don't want to use hot tub.
You don't want to use hot
Citrus Bowl.
Okay.
No.
All right, fine.
Yeah,
the last bit.
Especially if you saw the dudes that were in there.
Yeah, no thanks.
Were there dudes sitting in there?
Yeah, although there was a couple of girls in there that were pretty, and I saw one of the comments saying, "Can we just buy the water after looking at those girls?"
So they put some babes in there, but they also put some just big fat dudes?
It was not necessarily fat dudes, but just dudes that look unwashed.
Oh.
And then the whole, Tennessee Volunteers, 6 of them ran to it and jumped in it after the game.
I thought things were going to break when they all jumped in there with their pads on and everything.
I missed it. I didn't know the players jumped. So they're selling it on eBay. The last bid, according to what I'm reading, was $1,000. There's an auction that goes all the way through this next coming Monday.
Yeah, $12.25. It's up to $12.25 at this point.
Oh,
for a hot tub, that sounds cheap, but I guess I've never priced out a hot tub.
Well, maybe you have to go drive there and pick it up yourself.
Yeah, you do. You do. They're not going to deliver it for you.
Yeah, that's not...
All hot tubs ever did for me was make me want to vomit.
Yeah.
I tried it once. I didn't like it at all.
Not a fan.
Now, this is really interesting. Oh, I know a minute ago I said there was somewhere I was going to go with this or that, and I forgot. I got it back now. We were talking about the XFL, of course, the baby of Vincent Kennedy McMahon way back 20 years ago. And I don't know, does he still have something to do with it, or is it just The Rock?
No,
or what?
just The Rock.
The Rock? Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is where I was going to go now. Speaking of wrestling, 80s Kurt Rambis fan Jesus sent me a picture this morning via text. And he tells me that the 2025 WrestleMania host city is going to be announced today.
Ooh.
And an image leaked online of the logo for WrestleMania.
Oh, hell yeah.
For the year 2025, whatever number WrestleMania that's going to be, I have no idea. But the logo says, WrestleMania 2025, and it has a city silhouetted on this picture. And Kurt Rambis fan Jesus, 80s Kurt Rambis fan Jesus, sent me the picture and says, doesn't this kind of look like Minneapolis? And it does. It really does. That silhouetted city does look a lot like Minneapolis. Now, it's not till 2025. There's no need for anyone to fall down and start touching themselves just yet. But I know how much it would mean to a lot of people in this town if we got a friggin' WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Start saving now, Wobble.
So I don't know where you should hang out today in order to hear this announcement when it's made. I don't know, but it's supposedly going to be made today, and maybe in a little over a year we'll get that friggin' show here in town.
They promised us it way back when they were planning the stadium. They said it's going to host major events. Vikings games, obviously, but concerts, WrestleManias.
Well, they've followed through on all of those promises so far, haven't they?
Yeah, but the stadium's been open a long time now, and I still haven't gotten to WrestleMania.
How long has the new Metrodome been open now?
Good question.
Has it been 10 years? I really don't know.
I just started Googling new Metrodome. I realized that probably wouldn't get me the result I needed.
I'd read a couple wrestling blogs that were saying Minneapolis was heavily favored, and they gave all the reasons why. I mean, 73,000 fans could go, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But they said the other rumored one was London.
Sure.
So
I also heard Vegas, too.
Did you?
Yeah, it was Minneapolis, Vegas, and London was
Well,
the
Vegas has the new
cities.
stadium, too. So.
Yep.
Well, but
those
again,
were the three.
Vegas can wait.
That city, if that picture that 80s Kurt Rambis fan Jesus sent me is legit, that city does look a lot like Minneapolis.
The new Metrodome was open July 22nd in 2016.
So it's been open about 7 years
feels
now.
longer than
It
that.
does feel longer than that. All right, so whatever. Keep an eye out for that if that's something that blows your skirt up. The Pigs have a home game scheduled for tonight. I was saying earlier, Randy Shaver, if you're a beer leaguer and you still got your legs underneath you, show up with your gear. You never know. You might get 10, 12 minutes on the ice because this team could use some live human beings.
Yeah.
Now Jared Spurgeon's been dumped onto the injured list.
They are taxing their Iowa team.
Oh, the Iowegian Club.
Yeah.
Bunch of wide-eyed kids that don't know what end is up. So Spurgeon joins Brodeen and old Phil the goalie and the Russian kid. We had our guy Foligno on the air yesterday. Don't know if he's ready to go.
Now, if you don't play on a beer league team, but you do want to drink beer,
all
tonight
right,
at Clive's Roadhouse in Blaine, I'll be there with Coors Light.
Dude, I love that place.
The transition.
Yeah, what
really good
time?
food there.
What time?
7 to 9.
7 to 9, huh?
Puck drop till 9.
Can I win anything?
You got to be there to win the tickets, too, so you got to stay till 9.
Tickets to what?
Wild Sweet tickets.
Oh, man.
For March 3rd.
March 3rd.
Fabulous.
Tonight.
What's the
Clive's
name?
Roadhouse in Blaine.
Yeah.
7 to 9.
Drink Coors Light.
Zuccarello's also hurt. Vinny Lettieri. Oh, they played the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa Bay. Have you heard of that club?
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, I think they're good. The new ladies hockey club that we have here in town won their inaugural matchup last night in Boston.
That's awesome.
Good start.
You know, we had quite a few people text in, said they went, and it was a blast.
They went?
Yeah.
I thought the game was in Boston.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying they texted in from Boston, I guess. There's
Wow.
like 3-4 people that were all together that went.
Well, that's insane.
I think their next game is this weekend at the X, right?
I have no idea.
I think so.
I'm going to go along with it. Their head coach is a guy named Ken Klee. I remember when he played in the NHL. Washington Capitals. You can look that up. I believe the majority of Ken Klee's days in the NHL were spent on the Washington Capitals, playing with guys like Peter Bondra and Mike Ridley and Dale Hunter and Al Iafrate and Dino Ciccarelli.
Yeah.
Don Beaupre, Mike Gartner. How many other Washington Capitals can I name from that era? I think I might be spent on that. Oh, Dmitry Kristich. I'll be honest with you. That was back in the days when you'd get the Sega 95
Yes.
hockey, right? Okay. Remember how you could trade players, and stack your team? Yeah. I love the Washington Capitals of that era, so I was almost always the Washington Capitals, and I would pretty quickly trade Ken Klee. I would. Don't tell him I said that, but I would quickly trade him for someone like Richard Matvichuk or, I don't know, maybe Kevin Stevens. Or not Kevin, sorry, Scott Stevens. I would trade Ken Klee pretty quickly.
And yeah, the women's team does play at the X this Saturday at 2:30 against Montreal.
Dude.
So I'm a little confused. They don't have a name yet, right?
None of the teams have names yet. They're just going by their city town names.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And next year they'll announce some names.
That's what I believe to be true, yeah.
Yeah, yesterday I called them the Whitecaps.
I thought they were the Whitecaps.
Well, that was like an old team.
Yeah, it was
right?
an older team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I thought when you guys said that, I thought, I must have missed it that they're calling them the Whitecaps again.
Yeah.
I effed up. They don't have a team name, but they're playing Saturday 2:30 at the X.
At the X, yeah.
Oh, you can find
the game
out.
is also broadcast, right? Isn't it?
They're going to be on television.
All of them are, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Blaine.
Oh, really?
For that game.
Wow.
Could we win sweet tickets?
No. I'm just going to be in Blaine for the game.
That's unfortunate.
I'm not going to tell you where. Just look for me in Blaine. We talked about the Wolves real quick when we started our conversation. Anthony Edwards says that his club sucks right now. Well, they got thumped over the head by the New Orleans Pelicans last night at Target Center. 117 points to 106. I'm telling you again, the Pelicans are going to be real hard to stop this year if all their guys can stay on the floor.
That's going to be the key.
They are really good. That is my sleeper pick to bust things wide open in the playoff this year.
Well, they've got Larry Nance back, who came off the bench last night and played great. That Alvarado kid has been kind of a revelation for them, kind of a fill-in piece for quite a while they had all those injuries, and now he comes off the bench and he's pretty good. And you're right, they've got a front line that's pretty good. I mean, when they added McCollum, that made a big difference on that team. So
he's terrific.
They've got a good club. The thing that Edwards was talking about is the same stuff we heard last year when they were struggling. The effort, and hopefully we won't hear that conversation too much more during the course of the year, because the effort up to this point has been pretty good. So they're the last team in the NBA to lose 2 games in a row.
Right.
They've been playing great. but last night was not one of their better efforts.
They appeared to have very little energy last night, and it was the same way with the New York Knickerbockers game on New Year's Day. They just didn't look terribly enthused to be there.
That one you can kind of figure based on the fact that it was New Year's Day, right? That one probably you can give them a pass.
You're in New York City on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, last night, a totally different scenario because you're playing against a Western team that's really good. You know they're really good, and you're at home, and you've been dominating at home. So to not play well last night in front of the home fans and basically lose 3 straight quarters to the Pelicans is not acceptable. So
next up, they play the Houston Rockets on the road tomorrow night.
And they're pretty good, too.
Yeah, and they've got a tough series of games here. They go on a 4-game road trip. What the hell? They got Houston, Dallas, Orlando, and Boston.
Yeah.
The NBA had a record night last night. 5 teams scored 140 points or more. 4 teams scored 130 points and lost.
Yeah. One team scored 150. Of course, it was, I think, overtime.
It was.
And Utah scoring 154. That was a track meet last night between Utah and Detroit. 2 teams that, are not playing defense right now. And they just piled up the points last night.
154 to 148 in overtime, that game between Utah and Detroit. So they're just piling up points. Scoring is up this year.
Yeah.
It's the highest clip since 69-70. Teams are averaging 115.5 points per game.
Think about that, because in 69 and 70, there was no 3-point line.
No, there was not.
So to score the kind of points that they were scoring then.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Ron Artest, otherwise known as Meta Sandiford Artest, otherwise known as Meta World Peace, he says that San Antonio Spurs rookie Victor Wembanyama will, quote, for sure score 101 points in a game someday.
No. Disagree.
He gonna go get 101 at some point in time in the next 7 years. He gonna get 101. Yeah, he's gonna for sure catch a rhythm where some rookie that can't guard, don't know how to deny, can't backdoor, making a ton of mistakes, and boom, 101 piece, averaging 40. I think you're going to see it from this kid.
No.
Wembanyama?
Oh.
No.
You don't think it's going to happen?
No.
Well,
he's not Wilt Chamberlain. He's not dominating the NBA like those guys did in, totally different time for the game. But yeah, the game's different now. He's not going to do
Chamberlain, of course, the only player in NBA history to ever score 100 points in a game. And that's incredible, of course, absolutely incredible. Yeah. But you know what always grabs me? I don't know why, but it grabs me even more than the fact that Wilt scored 100 points in a game, that there was a ball game where he had 55 rebounds.
55 rebounds, that's correct. Well, remember, though, back in those days, there weren't many big guys that were dominating. I mean,
Yes, you're right.
He was going up against guys that were 6'8", 6'7", 6'9". Wilt just was in a league of his own until Jabbar showed up. Right. He was in a league of his own. So
55 me running rebounds. I got it. Every shot that missed, he got it.
Shot goes up, the other 4 just start running down the court. They don't need to be down there anymore.
Yeah.
The Golden Gopher Basketball Club is on the road tonight for their 3rd Big Ten game of the season, their first since early December. They're at the University of Michigan.
How about this? Michigan is the only team in the Big Ten with an overall losing record. They've gone through the preseason games. They are 6-7.
So they're struggling against these.
Every other team in the Big Ten has a winning record overall.
Do they not sign up for the cupcake schedule that everyone else signs up for? Who have they been playing?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'll look, but I just was blown up. No, their schedule is. It does well. I take that back. Maybe Florida, Oregon, Texas Tech, Memphis.
Okay, those aren't cupcakes.
They've played some teams. Yeah. They played some cupcakes too, but they lost to McNeese State.
Okay, but
they lost to Long Beach State.
That's pretty impressive compared to, say, look at the Golden Gophers cupcakes.
Yeah.
University of San Francisco and these
they
other.
lost to San Francisco.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. And San Francisco's that's a cupcake compared to who you rattled off, Oregon and Texas Tech and whatnot.
I mean, the Gophers should have beat Missouri. They had that game
Yes, they
won.
did. They should
blew
have.
that. So the Gophers really should be 11-2. But you're right. Yeah, there is a difference in the schedule. But still, I mean,
it's not very Michigan-like.
Let's put it this way: it's a very winnable game for this young Gopher team tonight.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Oh, I love this stuff so much. 8 o'clock tonight on something called Peacock. Josh, do I have that channel?
I don't know if you do or not.
God.
It's a streaming service. I enjoy it.
You want to hear about a good old-fashioned whooping? The Grambling State women's basketball team played a Division II club the other day. I don't know. Cupcake schedule. That's how they do it. Grambling State women's basketball team. They took on a Division II club. That school. Oh, they sound intimidating. The College of Biblical Studies.
Look out.
Juggernaut.
Okay. The College of Biblical Studies women's basketball team. Grambling State squeaked by the ladies from the College of Biblical Studies by a final of 159-18.
Oh, boy. They didn't have a prayer.
That was awesome.
It was a beating of what? Who wants it?
Biblical purple.
That's right, biblical purple. It's the biggest margin of victory in the we're going to do Denny again now.
Yes, we are.
In the history now, the biggest margin of victory in the history of Division I women's basketball.
They are who we thought they were.
That's right.
And we didn't let them off the hook.
The Grambling State club, they're the Lady Tigers. They had a 34-0 lead to start the game. At halftime, it was 82-10.
See, at halftime at that point, you pass
what do you do?
You pass until the end of the shot clock.
Well, but people paid to watch the ball game. You can't just...
Yeah, but you saw the ball game in the first half.
Oh, was there no one there?
There was nobody there.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought
mean,
maybe.
I think you, and I'm sure they played all their subs. I'm gonna lean towards the fact that they tried not to overdo it, but
yeah.
When you scored 159 and you had 80 at halftime, you scored about as many points in the second half as you did in the first half.
Josh showed me a picture of the ball game. There were not a lot of human beings.
More people on the court than in the stands.
When you read this stat, what is Grambling State supposed to do? The College of Biblical Studies team committed 57 turnovers in the game.
My God.
What are you supposed to do?
Here's what you're supposed to do. You don't schedule a team like that.
No, you
I'm
don't.
sorry. You just don't do
I hear you. All right, Josh, a listener says, if I have Xfinity, then I have Peacock. So, Josh, do I have Xfinity?
You do, but I thought they took that away.
You got to pay for it now.
Yeah.
You got to pay for Peacock.
Because it used to be the case, and I think that now you got to pay.
Well, Christ, then I got to watch the game in Blaine.
Yep.
Here's
Where
the deal.
are you going to be?
I'm going to go to Wapple's bar gig and demand they put a television on the Golden Gopher. You're going to be doing your dorky, hey, Minnesota Wild thing, and I'm going to force them to put one television on the Golden Gopher basketball game.
And the sound will be on the Gophers
Yes,
basketball
it will.
game.
Yes, it will. What's the name of this bar in Blaine?
Clive's Roadhouse.
Clive's, get ready. Get a television on Peacock.
Roadhouse.
All right, before we go, Randy, oh, here's East Winstead Jesus. He's got an update. He says, Grambling State women's basketball 1, Packers 0.
Roadhouse.
A 16-year-old kid named Luke Littler is looking to become the youngest player to ever win the World Darts Championship. And who could possibly care if he does or not? But it allows us to go this way with a conversation. A conversation on the youngest world champions ever. This is according to some article from somewheres on the internet.
Oh, interesting.
The youngest champions ever. Again, if you think I was insensitive, I'll say it again in case you care. There's a 16-year-old kid who's looking to become the world's youngest.
So he has not become
world. No, he's going to possibly be the world's dart champion. Okay, look it up if you like. I don't care.
Okay.
But as far as the youngest They say here Pele is the youngest sumbitch to ever win a championship in the sport of soccer. Okay. I would have thought he was even younger.
Well, how old was he?
He was 17 years, 8 months old when he won his first soccer championship. I think the kid, I think the guy turned pro when he was 8 or something like that, but he was 17.
I mean, in a team sport, that's pretty impressive. You're talking about darts, obviously not a team sport. I mean, individual sports, it's a little bit easier to.
Right.
I'm thinking of gymnastics. You know, usually the women's gymnastics, those gymnasts are pretty young, you know, 15, 16 years old, 17.
Now, according to this article, see if you can guess this, Randy Shaver, the youngest guy to ever win an NBA title. 18 years old when he won an NBA title. So,
Malone?
Of course, you're thinking Karl Malone? Moses Malone?
Moses Malone, because he was a high school kid.
Yes, it's not
I'm
Moses
thinking
Malone.
high school kids. Okay.
It's not Moses Malone. And and Karl Malone, boy, did he ever win a title? No, he didn't.
They did not.
I thought maybe he might have snatched one up when he joined the Lakers.
An 18-year-old kid, this would have to be somebody right out of high school, basically, right?
Well, here's the hint that might help you out. Here's what might help you out. I do have this individual's jersey hanging in my closet. And also, I'll give you another hint. He's not from the United States of America. According to this article.
Not Akeem.
Not Akeem Olajuwon. No.
I can't think of it.
I have his jersey hanging. He played for the Timberwolves.
Oh, Darko
Milicic. And it must have been when he was messing around with Detroit in the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. Youngest guy to ever win an NBA title. He was 18 years old.
Huh.
I don't know either of these characters.
It was all downhill after that.
Yes, it
was. He ended up with the Timberwolves during that time period.
I have a Darko jersey hanging in my closet. By damn, I do. I remember the day that, was it Brad Ryder, Josh, or was it the guy before Brad Ryder?
Before Brad Ryder.
The guy before Brad Ryder said, you know what? I should be more specific. The media relations guy before...
VP of Media Relations.
Before Brad took the job, and then they gassed him. Nice guy. And I remember he emailed us, and he said, you know, I love that you guys still support the Timberwolves, even though we're garbage right now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to send you a couple of jerseys. We got a couple of jerseys in the mail. It was such a nice gesture. Cool. And he got Josh a Kevin Love jersey, and for me, he got me a Darko Milicic jersey.
Interesting fact about this guy, neither one of us ever saw his mouth.
No.
And we used to spend quite a bit of time with him. He covered his mouth when he talked.
Yeah. Huh. He did.
All the time.
It was a little quirk.
Yeah.
He covered. And then, Josh, you had a buddy that worked at an auto shop that did the same thing.
Yep, same thing.
It was weird.
I love how Brad was the VP of communication, even though there wasn't a president.
I know. That's the best.
Yeah, they just wouldn't let him have the time.
No. You don't get it, man.
No.
Not yours.
Now, my guess is these next two cats were from the Dark Ages. The youngest kid to ever win a title in Major League Baseball was someone named Freddie Lindstrom. He was only 18 years old. God knows what club he played for. I didn't bother looking it up. In the NHL, the youngest to ever win a Stanley Cup was someone named Larry Hillman, was 18 years. I don't remember Larry Hillman. Maybe he was from, the Montreal Maroons in 1951. I don't know. But I got two more here for you. One of them's pretty easy. The youngest heavyweight champion. I said it was easy, and now you're making...
Muhammad Ali.
No, the youngest heavyweight champion was... Nobody?
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. He was only 20 years, 4 months old. But this is a tougher one. But he was a marquee player when he was active.
Okay.
The youngest fella to ever win a Super Bowl. He was only 21 years, 5 months old. I'll give you a hint. Early 2000s, and he was a big, tough running back. For Baltimore.
I don't know.
Jamal Lewis.
Jamal Lewis.
Was Randy Orton the youngest World Wrestling, how do they say it now? World Wrestling Edition? What do they call it now? Entertainment. Was Randy Orton the youngest ever WWE champion?
At 24.
Yeah. There you go.
What was it before that, do you know? Like how close were the ages pretty close?
Who was it before that? Was it Bob Backlund or something like that?
Give me 1 second.
Randy.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
Oh, really?
And then Yokozuna, The Rock.
Oh!
Undertaker.
Yokozuna.
Mm-hmm.
How old was the Undertaker? 50s?
The
26.
26.
Yokozuna would just sit on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bonsai drop.
Mm-hmm.
That's a painful one.
I'll say it again. Randy Orton, great performer.
My wife's got a thing for him.
He always has been. From the word go, he was meant to be. We've had him in studio once or twice, and he was a real nice guy, had some great stories. But there was a stretch of time where Randy's gimmick was he was just and damn near every wrestler in the history of the sport has had this gimmick where he's just the prettiest, most perfect man on planet Earth, right?
Yep.
Cody Rhodes was stunning. That game. So many wrestlers have done that gimmick. But Randy had a real fun moment where when he appeared on screen, there would be a list of statistics about how perfect Randy Orton was, right? He beat his dad in checkers.
I've got that list.
Do you? You're pretty proud of yourself, Randy. I bet you do. A list of accomplishments. So Randy Orton shows up on television one night, and then the list of statistics pops up next to his face, and it says, Randy defeated his dad at checkers when he was 6 months old, all this ridiculous. But my favorite was the final fact that said, Randy has never had a zit. That was too good, man. He's never had a zit. And there he is smiling. Cheesy ass grin. That's fun stuff. All right, Randy, there you go. We appreciate every damn thing.
You bet.
And I think tomorrow we're even going to have
we have a dad fights tomorrow?
We do.
The first for the year 2024.
All right.
You and Brad Ryder will be going head to head. So we'll talk to you tomorrow, dude.
Sounds good.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
The Rolling Stone Music Now podcast gets inside the biggest stories with Rolling Stone senior writer Brian Hyatt, joined by Bob Harvia from 60 Songs to Explain the 90s.
There's no freedom rock yet of the 90s.
It's coming, though. From 2010 to 2019. And the top 10 is Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam. So the freedom rock of the 90s is the grunge Mount Rushmore.
Rolling Stone Music Now, wherever you listen.
You're listening to the radio. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Got that right. Here we go. We've returned on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. It's 8:30, right on the nuts. You're a great crowd. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Nobody else will.
The show is trash, and people still tune in sometimes. We appreciate it.
It's unbelievable. The technical difficulties.
Oh, they've been awful today.
Yeah, it's been a rough
Are
one.
we having a lot of technical difficulties?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Let me tell you something. I haven't noticed.
You really haven't? The dropouts, their computer's not playing clips when they're supposed to, playing the wrong thing.
That's a good thing, right? I haven't even noticed.
Means we're getting good at technical difficulties.
Even Nick doesn't listen to the show.
Cubby knows this
The
about
texts have
me.
been hilarious, though. Today's been like a really good text.
What are they texting about?
All kinds of different things. There's a couple that got me during the middle of sports there that I could never read, but my goodness, people are clever.
I saw some of those.
Is anyone sending in any more trivia questions for us? Because it's National Trivia Day. If you have a trivia question you think you can stump us on, 651-989-9393. I think amongst the five of us, unless it's about cereal, Ashley proved earlier she knows nothing about cereal, even though she said it's an easy topic. If you have a trivia question for us, you'd like to try to stump us, 651-989-9393. It's National Trivia Day. Josh knows this about me, and he's known it for decades. He has. I've had an on and off love affair with the video game Tetris for the longest time.
There was a time you were playing it constantly.
Yes.
Like in the middle of the show, it helped you concentrate, you said.
You're absolutely right. I don't remember how long ago it was that suddenly a grown person could play Tetris on their computer. But I started finger banging that damn thing every single day. And Josh is right. I found that, say, when Josh was reading his news report, which he does every day, it's always wildly hilarious. When Josh would read his news report, if I would finger bang the texture, how do you say the game again?
Tetris.
The Tetris. Focusing on those shapes falling into place helped me listen more clearly to what Josh was saying to me. Without it, I found myself, and this is no offense to Josh, obviously, I found myself, I would drift off and kind of, just for short periods of time, I would drift off and maybe miss something or another that he was saying. But if I played Tetris, it would help me listen. So for probably a good 10 years, every effing day, I would play Tetris while we were on the air.
And by the way, offense taken.
I got made fun of not too long ago by my boyfriend because I like playing Tetris on my my Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
He's like, so you just sit and play Tetris? I was like, yeah. What's wrong with Tetris?
I thought everybody loved Tetris.
Yeah.
It's like the most universally known game ever.
Why.
But then, you know what? I gotta say, the Chive came around.
That does take up a lot of your time now.
The Chive came around with their endless pictures of college girls in their bikinis. And I forgot about Tetris for a long time. But now I very recently dialed back in. I'm again playing it every day. Only recently I've gotten back into the habit. I left it out of my life for a long time, but recently I got back into it and I'm enjoying the hell out of it all over again. It's like brand new to me all over again. It's such a simple, mindless game.
Here's you wanted a text question, and part-time electrician Jesus has, a trivia question. He has texted in a trivia
Wonderful.
question. Who is the Dolphins quarterback?
Okay. I'm going to go ahead. I'll be the sucker, and I'll say that Tua kid.
Tua D's nuts! Tua D's nuts, he said.
Oh, I like that one.
That's not a trivia question. That's a straight burn. You made a fool out of us. Part-time electrician Jesus.
All morning long. Here's something I have noticed. I haven't noticed the technical difficulties, but I have noticed that people are pretending as if they're going to ask us trivia questions, but instead they come at us with a sick burn.
Yeah, there's been a lot of those today.
All right. So Tetris, check this out. A 13-year-old kid in Oklahoma named Willis Gibson just became the first person to ever beat Tetris. I didn't even know that was a possibility.
Me either.
A lot of people didn't know it was a possibility until it actually happened.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
His name, again, Willis Gibson, but if you're dialed into online nicknames, you guys know I know nothing about this stuff. His online handle is Blue Scooty. Blue like the color SCUTI. Blue Scooty.
His reaction was pretty funny when he won.
I can't feel my fingers.
Couldn't feel his fingers after that.
I thought he was going to stroke out there for a second.
And I cut that by like a third.
Yes.
He was going on for a long time.
For a while.
That's incredible. Yeah, he was nearly hyperventilating. So if you're not familiar with this game, it came around in the late 80s. I remember suddenly when I was a senior in high school, every swinging D had a Game Boy, and they were playing Tetris. Of course, I never got my hands on a Game Boy, and I came along onto the Tetris craze years after it first hit. But if you're not familiar with the game, shapes fall in front of you. You have to take those shapes and create straight lines, and the game gets faster and faster and faster. The shapes fall at you faster and faster, and you got to keep up. But it says here, usually it just keeps going until you lose. But there's a glitch where it can eventually get so fast, the console can't keep up and crashes. Until now, only artificial intelligence has been able to achieve that. Up until this 13-year-old kid comes around. I believe I've presented that properly. I believe, have I explained that properly?
Yeah. Yep, makes sense.
Okay.
A lot of those old games, they programmed them without a real ending. So think like Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, where they realize, like, okay, no human's going to be able to get this far. We'll just end it there. And it's called a kill screen. So once you get far enough in the game, further than the developers ever thought somebody could get, the game just crashes and dies and it's over.
That's what happened with this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It's called reaching the kill screen.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
The way you explained it, the folks who design these games, they must sit back and say, okay, we're at a point now where no human being could, so why go any further?
Yeah, just wrap it up.
This is insane to me, if in fact the playing field is equal no matter where you play Tetris. I play it every day. Today, on my computer, I always click on this website. I don't know what it is, and it has a good old-fashioned Tetris screen, and I begin playing. Today, I know this much. I got up to level 20, and it got so fast that I couldn't handle it. It says here, and again, if the playing field is equal all the way across the board, I don't know. This kid got to level 157.
Holy cow.
And if you watch some of the later levels, because you can watch the whole, it took about 40 minutes, you can't even see these pieces that are moving so fast.
Well, how the hell does he accomplish this?
I don't know.
Is he a robot? Is he a real kid?
Maybe it just clicks differently in his brain, you know?
I felt that way watching some of the experts play Guitar Hero when they play an expert mode. How fast those colored dots are coming at you, and you have to, to me, that's incredible. These guys are able to do it. Could they play a real guitar? Probably not. But they can dominate at that.
And recently, I think it was last year, because this Tetris community is a big thing. People still be playing it nonstop. They have Tetris World Championships every year, I think, in Finland. And somebody developed this new technique called rolling, where you don't just have, your thumbs going back and forth. Yeah, rolling, where it's kind of hard to explain. Like, more I have to watch a video for it, but you're basically just tapping, like, the controller against, like, your hand and your body all at once and just moving your hands, and you can do much faster than you could.
That's faster than fingering.
Right,
okay.
Faster than just blasting with your thumbs.
100, he made it to, again.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking about playing Tetris video games, just to clarify what's happening here.
Somebody just spit their coffee on the dashboard. Again, I mentioned I got to level 20 today before it was too fast for me to handle. This kid went to level 157, and the whole schmear froze up. That's it. He beat the game. What did you call it? He reached the kill screen?
The kill screen, yep. Where the game completely runs out of memory and it just crashes.
He accumulated 6,850,000 points. He says his next goal is to do this again, but to try to be more efficient, if that's possible.
Crazy. He's going to be pretty popular in school for a while, I bet.
Yeah, I bet.
Definitely.
He's going to get some attention from the ladies. Who here has ever beaten a guy? Okay, aside from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
That's my only one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who here has ever?
I got double banana on Mrs. Pac-Man, but I don't. But how far does that thing go?
It goes to a kill screen again.
Oh, it does.
Mm-hmm.
I was nowhere near that.
Yeah.
Anyone ever beaten a game or reached the kill screen?
No. Not even on Donkey Kong.
If anyone in our listening audience has beaten a video game aside from Mike Tyson.
Well, when you finish I finished video games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I mean. Finish, or beaten. Yeah, finish.
For beaten, I thought you meant like set a record or something like that.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
I've definitely finished quest games.
Plenty of times.
Definitely, yeah, especially campaign modes.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of Call of Duty, Halo.
For me, Halo, Uncharted, Tomb Raider. I finished those.
Waffle, didn't you just, have you finished Assassin's Creed yet? Your new one you were playing?
Oh, yeah, I beat that in less than a month.
Boy.
I love you.
I'm sorry that my terminology was off. Yeah, I mean, if you've finished it, you've completed everything.
Well, I bet there's a ton of people that will text in on that.
Just this year alone. Well,
that's crazy to me that you guys have multiple games that you've just finished.
Just in 2023, I can think of 4 games on the top of my head I completely finished. 100% too.
I've never done that. Again, aside from Mike Tyson. That's crazy. Good for you guys. I didn't know that was so common.
It's more common now than it was back in the day. The games used to be a lot more difficult in the NES days. Now they're kind of made so that you do finish them.
They are.
Do you ever save the princess in a game or anything? Do you ever play Zelda, Super Mario Brothers, something like that?
I don't think so. I mean, I probably played those games, but I was never very good at them.
Tow Truck Driving Jesus recommends the Tetris documentary on Apple TV.
Oh, that is really good.
Yeah, is that technically a documentary?
It's a movie, but it's about the story about how an American went into Russia and got the rights to bring Tetris to America.
Yeah, it's based on a true story.
I like the video. That doesn't make any sense. I like the documentary on the video game E.T.
Oh, that is
That's
fascinating.
really, I didn't know that story until I saw that. I've always heard the jokes about how bad that game was, but I didn't know much about it.
I like the stories about how the folks who designed the game were all just snorting coke off each other's nipples and just partying and going crazy at all hours of the night to try and finish this game as quickly as possible so they could strike when the iron was hot when E.T. came to town in 1982 or whatever it was, and people couldn't get enough of E.T.
And the game made no sense. There's nothing to do with the movie. You're basically just walking and you go into holes and you get like points and then you go up and fall into the next hole. And the game was nowhere near complete, and they knew it too, but they had to get it out for the Christmas season. And of course, stores bottom up. People realized it sucked, so they just sat there. They tried to send the games back to Atari. Atari ended up taking all the extra copies and dumping them in the landfill in New Mexico.
Yeah, they dug them up.
Yeah, and then the documentaries with them digging them up and trying to find the coordinates of where they think they would be.
What?
Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy story.
A lot of cocaine.
A lot of cocaine that was done at that Atari headquarters in the 70s.
Another trivia question from the listeners on National Trivia Day. Barley malt Jesus. Everyone here, we've all heard of the Greek hero Achilles, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, there's a local quarterback that's very familiar with Achilles.
Yes.
Wants to know, does Barley Malt Jesus, have we heard about the Greek hero Bophides? Bophides.
No.
Never.
Tell us.
Bophides nuts! D's nuts! We are fools again!
I like when you hit the D's nuts a second time.
Just want to make sure you got it.
Bophides. All right, speaking of Tetris, Tetris is the top-selling video game of all time. Maybe you knew that, maybe you don't. Yeah, I certainly love it. I do. I'll play it again tomorrow. I sure as hell ain't going to reach level 157.
Here's a text on video games.
Yes.
Finishing a campaign is different than completing all the achievements for a game. So, okay, I don't understand. What do you mean by that?
What do they mean?
Like nowadays you have...
Do it without saying like.
You have all
and
these...
less phlegm.
Oh, wow.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Now this is going to be tough. So you have a bunch of challenges that the maker of the game will set up. Like you have to travel so many miles in the game. You have to kill so many people this way. And you have to complete all those too.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
100%
I don't get
That's
it.
the part that takes forever, not the campaign mode. It's all the little side things you have to do.
Okay, so you can finish a campaign and they let you slide on some of that other stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so finishing a game would mean you've done absolutely everything you can. Okay, yeah, thanks for the clarification.
All right.
Yeah, and I've done that 4 times last year. Completely, 100%.
All right.
One of them was Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how you had the time for that. That takes me forever. I'm only like 15% done.
You guys are the best.
Nailgun Jesus beat Super Mario Brothers, the stand-up game, in 1986 and got a T-shirt from the arcade owner.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's great. Oh, wow.
I think my favorite video game accomplishment was a side hustle I came up with in 7th grade when Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time came out. There's this one temple, the water temple, that's notoriously difficult. I found out the way to beat it. None of my friends could, so they would bring their cartridges and give me like $10 in a Mountain Dew. I'd bring it home that night, beat it for them, and then bring it back.
Oh, that's a flex. That's cool.
By the way, if you're just tuning in, he's talking about beating a video game. That's what he would beat at night. Was this something to do with a blue towel or something?
What's that?
Was this that what you just accomplished?
The water temple?
Yeah.
Not really a blue towel, but there's a lot of water, so it is blue in there.
Because there was a friend of mine, you were talking about this once before, and a friend of mine told me to tell you something that would impress you.
He did it without even having the blue tunic, which is the shirt he wears, which allows you to like breathe underwater for longer.
Because I remember you basically dropped to a knee and praised him as a god.
Yeah, that's very hard to do.
So yeah, he wanted me to tell you that, and I didn't understand the significance.
Yeah, I do remember that's a fantastic Zelda accomplishment.
We have a very accomplished gaming crowd in our listening audience. I had no idea how common it was to just sit down and finish a friggin' video game in a month or 2 or 3. I had no idea. I asked the question, if you've defeated or finished a game, let us know. Christ almighty, every damn one of you has beaten multiple games.
Yeah, this is impressive.
Yeah, I want to say I'm about 2 or 3 missions away from beating Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That'd be my second time through the game.
Damn,
and I'd almost have 100% on it. Again.
Where do you have the time for this? Where do you fit in your gaming?
Just like whenever I have downtime, even like 10 minutes here, 30 minutes there, I'll jump on quick, play a little bit.
So you're kind of like a sick addict.
Yeah, kind of.
Cool.
Hey, that's how they design video games, to be addictive.
Yeah, they want you to be there all day.
Half-assed morning show.
69. This show sucks. Who are you, fart knockers?
93X.
Oh, wow, here we go. It's 8:52. We're getting there. Getting ready to wrap up the Thursday edition of the Half-assed morning show. Josh brought this up a long time ago, and we've been having fun with it all day long. It is National Trivia Day. And so we asked our listening audience, got any trivia questions for us? You think you can stump us? Send them our way. Got some randos here. Want to try some of these out?
Let's do it.
So far, we've been burned quite a few. Quite a few of these have really got us looking like idiots.
I don't think any of these are set up to be a sick burn, Josh. I don't.
Good,
the ones that I have in front of me.
It's been disrespectful that people aren't taking National Trivia Day seriously.
I fall for it every time.
All right, so how many of us have watched The Flintstones?
I have.
I have.
And
I
by
used
God,
to love that show.
I bet you I've watched every episode of The Flintstones 10 times.
I think I watched one of the movies even. Certainly the cartoon.
All right, here's the trivia question. What's the name of the movie that the Flintstones go to see in the beginning of every episode? You remember, right? They cruise up onto the movie theater. Dino sticks his head through the top of the car. They put the babies up, Pebbles and Donnie, whatever the baby's name.
Bam Bam.
What's the name of the movie that they go to see? It's up on a marquee. This one's really interesting. There's no way I would have ever come up with it.
There's just got to be some type of pun.
The movie is called simply The Monster.
Oh.
The Monster.
Here's another trivia question that was directed to me. What is the proper term for being committed to not sleeping with other women while being married?
You got this.
Now, Josh has brought this up many times on the air. He's been trying to push this on me. It's lobotomy?
No. That's a
It
brain
rhymes.
procedure.
I think I got it rhymed.
You're close.
Lobotomy.
So yes, if you are in a relationship where you're committed to each other, like you are as a married man, you're monogamous. Monogamy.
I was going to say mahogany.
No.
All right.
That is a tougher wood, I believe.
Monogamy. I'll try to remember that.
By the way, if you're just tuning in, tougher wood, I'm talking about like from a tree.
Yeah. Next trivia question for the Half-assed Morning Show on National Trivia Day, sent by a listener. Here's the question. What is the proper depth to bury a dead dog?
I got
Waffle, go ahead. Seems like you have the answer.
It's got to be 6 feet.
It's not 6 feet.
It's got to be.
No, why does it have to be? You're incorrect.
I did that.
Yeah, you and your dad, like morons, if you're a longtime listener, you know this story. You and your dad, like absolute morons, had to bury a dog. What kind of dog was it?
Black lab.
Okay, large dog. You went 6 feet. Idiotic. For God's sake. The correct answer, 3 feet, 4 for a larger dog.
Dumb.
You're just mad you wasted all that extra effort, aren't you?
No, I just don't want the zombies to get after him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Next trivia question, how many pits are in a pear? That's a Jerky Boys reference. Don't worry about it. I think I'm the only one who gets it. How many pits are in a pear? Thank you for that one. Whoever sent that in, that's very funny. Okay, let's see if we can look this one up. We're going to have to look this one up unless someone knows the correct answer. This has been sent in by hobby photographer Sheezus. What movie features the first rotating planet? Now, the first one that came to mind would be Star Wars.
Boy, that's a great question.
What movie features the first rotating planet? Who wants to look that up for us? My guess is Star Wars. But maybe it's something different. Something before Star Wars took over every damn thing.
I haven't seen anything.
Okay, see if you can find it. See if you can find it. And finally, no, I have not finally. I have two more. One is more of a brain bender kind of a thing, not exactly trivia. See if anyone can figure this out. Because I don't have an answer. They're hoping we can figure this out on our own. What is there What is there one of in every corner and two of in every room?
One in every corner.
And two of in every room.
Corner, there's an angle. Sorry, one more time.
What is there one of in every corner and two of in every room?
Jeez, no clue.
I don't know.
That stumps me.
Oh.
Go ahead.
The letter O.
Whoa, nice.
Dang, that's good.
I looked it up.
That's awesome. Oh, did you look it up?
And good for you on your honesty.
That's all right. That's all right. Did we ever come up with the movie with the first rotating planet?
No.
I keep getting a Space Odyssey. That's the thing that keeps coming up for me.
Well, okay. What year did that come out?
It says that it premiered on April 2nd, 1968.
Okay. Let's go with that.
Yeah, oh yeah, the Brother and Sisterhood is saying that exact same thing.
Okay. A Space Odyssey is that? I've heard of it.
Yep, 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly the deal. Hey, we've done pretty well here by looking things up.
Yeah. Those of us with a computer in front of us have done very well.
Now, this one also rings a bell. This is the last trivia question that I have in front of me, sent by the listening audience to us. This rings a bell. That there is a legit answer here. I don't think this is a joke. And maybe one of you know it without looking it up this time. Who is the CPR dummy Annie modeled after? I thought there was a legitimate answer to this.
Oh, there is. I remember it from.
Did everyone have to suck face with the CPR dummy when we were kids? And her name was Recessa Annie, I believe.
Yep.
Who is she modeled? Was it Marilyn Monroe or something like that? I'm going to go with Marilyn Monroe. And let's see where that goes.
Are you guys looking it up?
Yeah.
Anyone have another guess?
Yeah, no idea. I don't know when she came out.
Yeah,
I mean, that'd be too tough for me to.
Well, Marilyn Monroe. Oh, you mean when did Recessa Annie?
Yeah,
oh,
no,
Jesus
Marilyn
Christ.
Monroe, I can handle that one.
Yeah. I'm a friggin' moron and I hate myself and I want to go home.
Nothing?
I can't find anything right now.
Really? I thought this would be.
Is it the letter O?
I thought this would be easier because I swear to God, I've heard this before. Recessa Annie. Who is she? Let's see if the listeners know.
Swamp Stomping Jesus wants to know if she's okay. This Annie, is she okay?
Son of a bitch. No, I'm not getting any answers here. I'm surprised by this. Maybe it was all in my head, but I thought there was a well-known answer to this.
There was too.
Yeah.
I'm just getting that it was based on a mysterious death mask of a beautiful woman from the 19th century. But
oh, that's creepy.
That is creepy. Who wants to put their face on that?
Okay, now that our text machine is slow to keep up, but I'm getting a couple answers that sort of mirror what you just said. She was modeled. No, it disappeared because here it is. She was modeled after a real dead girl.
oh my gosh, it was modeled after. People claim that it was modeled after the deceased daughter of the doctor who invented it.
Oh, that's creepy.
She will live forever.
Okay.
That is creepy.
Let's go along with that. That's very interesting and creepy. I thought it was something like Marilyn Monroe or, I don't know, Jane Mansfield or something from the 40s and 50s or something. But okay. That's kind of an interesting little... Interesting, kind of unnerving little trivia.
Yeah, I kind of wish I didn't know that because I was thinking I should take another CPR class. It's been a long time.
Now you're just going to see a dead girl every time you go down.
I'm going to have nightmares.
Every time I think about CPR or anything like that, I just think of The Office and Dwight cutting the face off the CPR dummy and then wearing it.
Like in The Devil's Rejects.
All right, Swamp Stomping Jesus is checked back in.
What's he want now?
Now, when we were mentioning Recessa Annie, he said, Annie, is she okay? Is she okay? And then we say it's based on a dead girl, and he says, so not okay?
She's not okay. All right, here's the deal. Let's end National Trivia Day, at least let's end this program on a final trivia question on National Trivia Day. And we were just talking up and down about video games. One of you schmucks that plays video games all day and lacks on show prep probably will know this. You ready, video game dorks?
Yeah.
What's the full name of Sonic the Hedgehog? Go.
Oh.
Okay, I'm surprised by that one, too. I thought you guys would know that.
No, never was a Sonic fan.
Yeah, me neither, really.
Well, Citing Jesus says the correct answer is Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog.
Is that right?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's right.
Ogilvy Marie Satchel.
I wonder if they address that in the movies. My son loves those movies.
They're very popular, and the third one's coming out this Christmas, I believe.
That's great. That's great stuff. Thank you for your well, just because they had to hang a name on them, I guess, and they probably
That's
just
hilarious.
came up with something kind of nerdy and cute that kids could get into.
You know how sometimes they'll just tag a name on something thinking we'll come up with the real one later? Maybe that's what it started as, and they decided, no, we can't get better than that.
Yeah, it's too good.
Thank you, everybody, for your trivia questions. That's been fun.
Yeah, thank you very much. Congrats to Diabetic Jesus, welcoming a new member of the sisterhood this morning from Biotech Jesus. Happy birthday to my better half, Jillian, says Killer Jesus. SRT Magnum Jesus texting a shout out to his girlfriend, Ronnie Nerd Jesus. Happy last birthday in your 30s, Bug Eye Wagon Jesus. And Party Pete text in with a happy 30th to Caitlin from the old man.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.